Yo, we're live and Brian's camera's messed
What up?
up.
What
Off
up?
to a great start. We'll fix that. Boom. Now I need to hit live on TikTok. Maybe we're live on TikTok. Crank developer live stream. Go live. Ooh, I can add moderators. I need to do that one day. All right.
What up, y'all?
Live and Brian's camera's messed up. Off to a great start.
Okay,
now I'm hearing. Now I need to hit live on TikTok. Oh. Maybe we're live on TikTok. Turn that off. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry, guys. Getting this thing started is always interesting. But what's up? Should make a view where it's just the two cameras too. So like when we're not playing, we can just zoom into each other and talk. I think that'd be good. I need to work on that. But anyway, what's up? Joe and Brian are back. All right, yeah, we got the new build today. Maybe controversial new build. A lot of physics changes. In-air physics changes, on the ground physics changes, bunch of new stuff. We now have both maps in one build, as you can see here. We're going to go through all the changes as we hang out. Brian and I got some fun things planned for the stream. So hang out, let's talk about it. And I'm going to get cranking on the, I say that all the time, not on purpose. On the open world map, the new map, we got 2 new racetracks. So I'm going to start cruising there, and Brian will be reading chat and talking, and we'll be doing stuff.
Yes, I will. Man, I'm always so stoked about these things. I look forward to this each week now.
Me too.
Fun. It's fun hanging out with y'all.
I'm going to try to do a better job of looking at chat. I know Brian looks at it very well, but I'm going to try to look at it as well. But it's hard to play and look.
Squatch up in here now. You know, we've been seeing Squatch over on the Discord. I see he's hanging out with us early in the live stream. And we've got Harpy back again, and Tails is here. McKay's is back again. Birdshaw's up here talking some smack. Shocker.
Hey, if you guys are playing the new build, make sure the new build, you have to reset your username. So when you're loading in, hit the Y or triangle on your controller, because I can see a lot of you guys haven't reset your username. We're getting a bunch of, weird names, the auto-generated names. But it's nice to see we already got a bunch of people playing the new map, so that's cool. All right, I'm worse on Prancer, so we'll go to Prancer. There's a new feature, guys, fast travel. So if you go to the leaderboard and you just click the trail you want to play and then hit A, it'll just take you right there. Just pretty fancy.
Very fancy.
Well, here we go. New physics, new tracks, new fun to be had.
We've got Elijah and Pink Dolph hanging out over in TikTok. What's up, guys?
So I'll talk about some of the physics changes as I play. The controversial ones are, we did a poll recently. We asked you guys if you want things more real on the realistic side or more kind of forgiving, where you can land super flat and kind of do cheesy lines and go crazy. And the majority of people said they want it more realistic. So we tuned things more realistic. So now there's a lot more traction slippage. There's also a thing where if you land hard, it'll slow you down. So you really need to try to have smooth landing, smooth cornering. The game now rewards smooth riding much more than before. It's not quite as responsive because of the traction stuff. So obviously these things can be tuned and changed, and we will probably be tuning them based on feedback. So it's important you guys get in and play. Those are the main on-ground physics changes. Oh, the wheelies are better too. And then in the air, flips are better, spins are better. The new crash detection, which doesn't let you land sideways like you used to be able to do before. So now if you land sideways, you'll crash. That's about all the physics changes in a nutshell.
That's enough.
Here we go. Look at these new flip physics. You can tuck, you spin way faster. If you don't tuck, you slow down. So you can like use the tuck feature to on the right stick, this thing, to kind of control your speed of your flip, which is super fun. This jump I have trouble clearing sometimes, so I probably will not be able to increase my time now. That slowed me down a lot. But this is out to Patreon today, guys. We just released it a couple hours ago. So if you're not on the Patreon, go grab it. If you are on the Patreon, grab it as well. $5 will get you playing this thing. But your feedback's super important. Really, we should probably, maybe I should ask Zach. I always mess up that turn. We should probably leave the old builds up, so if people want to compare old to new physics, they could.
That's a good idea. Aaron's back in the house again. Didn't let me
Yo,
down.
what
I
up?
expected to see you here, Aaron. We've got Ollie and Everett Kunda up in the house too. What's up, guys? On the YouTube side of things, and then we've got a couple questions over on TikTok. Paralyzed Posty, what's up? Realistic for sure, he says. Jan or Jan, when does it come to PS5? We don't know. We're still in the prototype phase. We've only been doing this for about 4 months now, so we have a ways to go until we know when we might get this thing on console. We're focused on PC at first. But you can play currently on PC or Mac. Jakob or Jacob, what's up? Says sick update, Joe.
Thanks.
Yep.
Man, see that little bump right there slow me down. Yeah, I think I agree with Tails and some of the other guys that like the slowdown thing is a little too sensitive right now. Especially for a downhill bike.
Sounds like Tails just took over first on Prancer.
Oh, what a surprise. Man, pushing through that jump feels so good. And I love
Joe, how's your
this
week
one.
going, man? How's your week this week? You feeling good?
It's been a great week. Been a fun week. Oh, man, that slowed me down way too much. And the game crashed on me. First crash of the stream. Sorry, guys. We'll boot it back up.
That's the first time we've crashed at all since we've in any of our streams, right?
Have we crashed before? Yeah, probably.
Huh.
Wonder if Zach fixed... it was crashing on me yesterday. We weren't streaming, but it was crashing on me, and I sent them some crash logs. So I wonder if he fixed that one, and this is a new one, or what? But
Jax is around. Hey, Jax. What's up, man? Squatch Joe says the feeling of gravity on Prancer he thinks is perfect. I assume it's a he. Feels like you don't have to pedal at all. Finds himself holding the pedal button.
Nice.
Anyway.
What's Tails saying? It's all about the corners. Joe and Brian don't think people had... Yeah. I don't think anyone really had crashes yet. Have you guys been having crashes on today's build?
I think that's what Tails was saying, is he doesn't think anybody has. I haven't seen anybody say that they've had a crash, which is great. And Tails gave some props on the new stream graphics. Joe, you want to kind of give some props on this?
Shout out to Mackie. I don't know how you say his name. It's like, but in Discord, Mackie. I'm gonna call you Mackie until you correct me. He kindly made us these awesome overlays for free. Probably gonna send you a T-shirt or something. I need to get your info. But dude, thanks so much. The stream looks way more professional and better now than it did before. Let us know what you guys think of this, or if there's any tweaks you guys want. I'm sure he could hook it up. Oh, he also made some vertical ones. I think next week we'll be able to do vertical and horizontal, like landscape and portrait on TikTok. You have to like stream a certain amount of times before they enable that feature for you, which is weird. But so he also made me some vertical ones, so we'll try those out next week. We tried to go live on Instagram today too, but it wasn't working. So I'll try to figure that out for next week as well.
We focus on one improvement per week. This week it was graphics, and that assist goes to McKay and not to us. So. Jacob, we do not know when it's going to release yet. No, we're not sure. We're really just kind of getting started with it, but we're trying to make sure it's fun to play already, even in these early days. That's what we're going for. Man, that's such a good trail.
Not the answer you want, but we'll release it when it's ready.
Yeah.
We got to make sure it's in good shape. And obviously, we're far from that. So at least a year out from early access on Steam. If we could release early access on Steam like next year around Crankworks time, which is August, that would be sick.
It's Mackay. Mackay. That's how we're going to pronounce that. Mackay. Like MacGyver.
Okay. All right. There's a full run. Not going to be an improvement, but at least you guys see the trail. Remember, guys, this is on the new map, which is an artist, Maggie, hasn't touched yet. So this new map looks ugly. So ignore the look of it. She's busy working on a new bike model. And if you were part of the live stream last week, then you probably heard that it's a Frameworks bike model, which is sweet. And yeah, I would tease it on here, but we haven't gotten the work in progress art approved from Frameworks. And we told them they could look at anything before we show it publicly. So I can't show it yet, but we'll be showing it soon.
I'm going to drop this little note that we're live streaming on the Mad Skills Discord. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Did you do the Cranked one?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to look at chat real
Now it's
quick,
up on-
actually, because I don't want to ignore
Up on
you
the
guys.
mad skills thing.
What's this game called? It's called Cranked. It's Cranked. It's coming out from a new studio we started called Session Syndicate. We're the same crew that used to make Mad Skills games, but now we've moved over to make this game. Yeah, if you want to play in your PC or if you're on PC or Mac, you can join the Patreon. The link is on the overlay there. It's also on our bios. $5 you get to play.
People are talking about the Frameworks collab that we've got going on, Joe.
Nice.
On YouTube.
I also see a question. Any chance of a career mode? There will be a career mode. You'll be able to play this game online or offline, single player or multiplayer, however you want to play it. You'll be able to play it. We'll have challenges and progression system and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, career mode of sorts is coming. I also want it to where you can like do all that progression stuff if you're in a lobby with your friends. I think it's silly when games don't let you do that. So we're gonna try to make this game the most fun and user-friendly game that it could possibly be. One of our I don't know what you call them, Brian. Not ethos, but like one of our kind of
just one of our core beliefs, basically, right? One of our non-negotiables or whatever you want to say.
We call it the no bullshit promise. Like no microtransactions, no misinformation, no gimmicks, like we're just trying to make this the most authentic, best player-centric game we could possibly make.
Yep. You will hear us talking about our effort, but you won't hear us make a lot of promises about how good the game is going to be. I don't really think that's our decision. I think that's players' decision to say how good it's going to be. So we're just going to talk more about how hard we're going to work and what we're going to try to accomplish.
Man, I'm slow today. Need a little warm-up.
Will the map, Luca Timmerman, hey, what's up? Welcome. Says, will the map end be just void or something else? Joe.
That's a good question. Like right now we have, I can show you in a little bit once we get to the bottom here. But right now we've got a big lake. So like once you get to the bottom of the map, it's a big lake. So you'd obviously go in the water and then it would, you drown and die and you'll never be able to play the game again. You have to rebuy it. That part's a joke, but I don't know about the top part of the mountain. I don't know if we'll just like put cliffs up there. Kind of what I want to do, and I need to ask Zach if it'll be possible, is just like have the backside be just like a huge loose rock style massive hill, and you could just like cruise down it and carve lines down it, and there'd be nothing really on it other than just like a big hill that you could have fun kind of shredding down. And I think that'd be cool. And then if you got to the end of that, it just like yeets you back, kind of like old school MX vs ATV reflex days. I think you'd like go off the map and it would just like send you flying. I always thought that was funny. So maybe something like that.
Jacob asks if we're going to add another field of view instead of first person. Yes, definitely. We originally decided to mold some dog crap and make it into a bike, and that's what we have in the game right now is this dog crap bike that's in the game. We don't want to shine extra light on this garbage with third person, so we're focusing on actually getting our first bike, which is based off, well, I wouldn't say based off, it's basically a replica of Frameworks downhill bike, and that'll be the first bike in the game. Once we get a good looking bike and model in the game, we'll prioritize third person.
The other reason we started with first person is because I really wanted to make a game that racing felt good with, and I think to do proper racing you need first person. You need to be able to see that front tire clearly and like point it where you want it and make sure you're hitting your lines. I think it's much harder to race well in third person, and I wanted first person to be the default and kind of the priority for racing. So we started with what I think is the more important view, and then we'll add third person later.
Yeah. Big Matt Boone wants to know how you got the controller on the screen like that, Joe. Getting technical.
Yeah, dude. There's a website you can go to. If you just Google like OBS controller overlay, there's a website you can go to, and you basically just do like a browser source in OBS, and then it just pops up. It's like it's super easy to do. That's what I'm doing. I could tell you the website, but I'd have to quit playing and look it up.
Gerald Stanky. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's a cool name, Gerald Stanky. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Very much so. We have the highest concurrent number of viewers we've ever had on this show so far. So we're off to a good start today. Thanks y'all for showing up. Yeah.
On YouTube or Twitch or both?
Both combined. I mean, I don't think we've ever been over over 60 at one time. I mean, I know we're just getting started. These are modest numbers, but
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around 55. I
Yeah.
knew I was going to miss it. 55 concurrent the one time, I think was our highest.
Mike Honcho, welcome. He agrees with you in first person, Joe.
Nice.
99.99%, my buddy. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Any more Mad Skills games? That's the goal for Turbarilla. I know they want to be able to make another Mad Skills game, another game in general. I think they've got some other priorities right now. I couldn't authoritatively answer that question, but I know that that's what Turbarilla wants to do. They are definitely over there working hard and trying to make things as good as they can be on the mobile side of things.
Oh, the other physics change I didn't mention is you can lean more now, so it makes it so you can like lean sharper in turns and scrub a little bit harder. I'll show that off on some other turns coming up here, but that was something I forgot to mention.
Leon, you're answering some common questions, and I very much appreciate that. I found out two streams ago that it's impossible for me to answer everybody without sort of taking over the entire stream and talking over Joe all the time. So I'm trying to not do that. I'm trying to just kind of be selective, but it's helpful when we have our sort of founding players in here helping answer these questions. So thank you very much.
Also, guys, if you join our Discord, we do have an FAQ section in there that answers most of the popular questions. Also, if you just browse our TikTok, I've answered a bunch of the popular questions. I think we even have a TikTok. I should pin that one, actually. I made a TikTok that was just all the like frequently asked questions, but I should pin that one to the top.
Yeah. Also, 99%, you asked about Turbarilla and Mad Skills. Birdshaw, who goes by Bird Shizzle, is in TikTok comments right now. He runs all the live ops stuff for Turbarilla still. One of mine, Joe's best friends, too. He can answer questions about Turbarilla and Mad Skills games probably better than Joe and I can at this point. So thanks, Bird, for chiming in there. All right, yeah, we've got some stuff happening. Let's look over at YouTube for a second. Luca Timmerman's still hanging out. Already asked about the map end. TR1M4X trim for, I'm not sure. I'm gonna call them trim. Do you also plan to have some secret spots within the map?
Hell yeah, we do.
May be rewarded if you find them. Man, do we talk about
absolutely. The plan is that I really want this game to be like 50% racing based, 50% exploration based. So I want it to be fun to just explore the mountain. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to race at all, you don't want to get competitive, you just want to hang out for the nice vibes, you should be able to like ride around, find secret areas, find a hidden cave, see where it takes you. Maybe you find, some secret dirt trails hidden out in the forest, and there's a dirt jumper bike, and the way you unlock it is by like finding those trails and the dirt jumper bike sitting there or something. These are just ideas we've had, but stuff like that I want to put in this game for sure. So yeah, if you have ideas on like fun secrets and Easter eggs, hit us up in the Discord. We've got a feedback channel, and if you look at the pinned comment in there and enter your feedback correctly, it actually gets pulled right into our like backlog system, and then other players can vote on it, and then the things that get the most votes are the things that we'll end up prioritizing. So yeah, if you got cool ideas for Easter eggs, let us know.
We were talking about having a Discord session, or maybe even doing it on the live stream at some point, just kind of saying, okay, today we're going to determine as a group an Easter egg or two to put in, just kind of let anybody who hangs out with us throw out ideas and vote on them and narrow them down. I mean, it would be a little public, I guess, if we did it on the stream, but it would only be people who actually watch the stream that would know about it. So it'd be kind of a cool inside thing.
One thing Brian and I were going to do on the stream today, and I think we should get started with question number 1. And this, I had the idea that Brian and I each come up with 3 questions to ask each other. Just random questions. They don't have to be about the game. Actually, none of mine are about the game. I don't know. I think it's fun to get to know, you guys get to know us better. And the caveat with this, is that the right term, is that both people have to answer the question. So we each came up with 3 questions, and we're both going to answer them. So you couldn't come up with some weird question that you didn't also want to answer yourself. Brian, you want to ask first, or you want me to?
I want to go by with what our guy Oscar said on YouTube, which is Joe going to write more songs for Tame Impala?
Dude, you know how many times people said that to me in public? Like, one kid at the mall came up to me and was like, "Are you Tame Impala?" and asked for my autograph.
Tame Impala's dope.
Some girls at Home Depot that worked at Home Depot stopped me twice. I think they stopped me and were like, "You look like Tame Impala." I should just start pretending like I am. My sister used to get that about Britney Spears, and one time she just pretended like she was and signed some little girl's like autograph for some little girl. She probably grew up telling people she met Britney Spears, and she really didn't.
Here we go, Joe. VR says, "Hey Joe, love the game. I've been following you for a while now. I've tried the newest update, and personally, I find the new physics way too floaty. Do you find them more floaty? No hate, just feedback. Fair. I mean, we want real feedback. It doesn't do us any good to do this if you guys don't tell us what you really think. That's the whole point, Joe."
The thing about that is, though, I don't think we changed anything that has to do with floatiness. So I've heard that comment before, but I'm trying to figure out what would be causing it. I mean, we changed some inner, like the rotation speeds and stuff, but the thing that has to do with floatiness the most is the gravity in the game, and we didn't touch gravity. So
but multiple people have said it, so something is being detected that way.
I wonder if Zach's watching. Zach, are you out there? You watching this? Or if you watch it, if you watch the rerun, you'll have to let us know what's with the floatiness. I don't notice there's a huge difference.
He said he was going to listen if he could. He's on a bus or a train or something, Zach is.
Tails, you're still... What the heck, Tails? I mean, 7 seconds faster? At this point, it's just ridiculous.
That's what he does.
All right, we're going to roll the other track now because you guys haven't seen the other track. This one I like better. I like them both. This one I think is more technical, and I think there's more line options. We might need a spread open. What do you guys think? Those of you who've played, and I guess you could tell me by those who haven't played and are watching, do you think the track markers should be spread apart in certain spots? Like, should we widen it? Or do we keep them narrow in certain spots to kind of force certain lines? Sometimes we narrow them because we like want someone to take a berm or whatever. We don't want too many cheesy lines. We notice if we have them too wide on the other map, you know, there's some like crazy gaps people do, but at the same time, some people think they're fun. So curious what you guys think about the track markers. Like right here, they're pretty narrow. You know, you really got to stay between them.
The Water Guy, what's up, on TikTok asks, what separates this game from Descenders? You know, we get that question a lot, and we understand why. I think maybe mostly we'll just kind of hope some of the people who are hanging out with us in comments and have played both games will answer that, because it might be, I don't know, more authentic for them to hear from somebody other than the developers. So that's kind of my take on it. If you want to answer it for now, Joe, go for it, but I think most people
the quick version is the physics are just completely different. They're more grounded. They're more reactive. In this latest update, we actually took things maybe in the opposite direction, more towards Descenders, which we might revert again. But also a huge emphasis on racing. The core loop's going to be completely different. I mean, basically everything about the game is different other than it's made in Unity and it's a mountain bike game.
YZ250, we got a moto guy over here, a Yamaha guy over here. Is that... Can you real community bikes in the game? Community bikes. I mean, I guess you mean real bikes in the game, right? The question.
Yeah, I mean, the first bike's a Frameworks bike, and that's a real bike. So we're going to hope to connect with more brands and get more branded bikes in the game. I've reached out to some, but so far Frameworks is the only one that's in the works.
So yes, YZ250, we are. We've the first real bike, because the bike that is in the game right now is just placeholder slop, but when we put our first real bike in, it'll be based off of the absolutely incredible Frameworks bike. If you don't know about that bike, check it out on YouTube. Search for Frameworks on YouTube when you see what we're talking about. That's a really cool effort that these guys are doing. The Jenkins View, thank you for following us. Much appreciate that on TikTok. Joe, you want to get to those questions? You started it, and you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, so I started my first one. My first one's super easy and not very thought-inducing, but first one is, what are your favorite hobbies, Brian?
Oh, my favorite hobbies.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
What do you do in your fun time?
I love, I don't get to do it as much as I would like, but I love to fly fish. I love to be in the West Virginia mountains and like Shavers Fork, streams like that. Just kind of turn everything off and go out onto the water with my fly rod and fly fish. One of my favorite things to do. I love riding motorcycles. I got rid of my motorcycle this past year when I moved to Pittsburgh for a while. Wasn't very helpful up there. I didn't get to ride it much, and now I'm really missing it now that I'm back in West Virginia again. But I do love riding motorcycles. Love playing tennis. Love watching basketball and music. You know, I'm a musical explorer, man. You know that. I'm into all genres. Not much mainstream new country. It just doesn't do much for me most of the time. But beyond that, there's not really a genre of music I don't like. So I spend a lot of time doing that. And I love reading too. I'm a long time reader. So.
Just one thing you didn't mention that I thought you would have.
What?
Pottery.
I haven't been doing it. I was throwing
Okay.
pots for a while there, and I really enjoyed it, but I haven't been on the potter's wheel in months and months. So I guess
Gotcha.
it kind of at this point kind of feels like an older thing that I was trying. So
Gotcha.
that's probably why I didn't mention it. It's just been too long. How about you? What's your answer?
I'll go in order of things that I do the most right now. And obviously this video game, it's obviously a job, but it also, I consider it kind of a hobby and a passion. But outside of that, climbing has been the big one lately. I climb 3 or 4 days a week, mostly indoors, but I do outdoor stuff too. Both bouldering and sport. Love climbing. Mountain biking, obviously. I don't ride as much as I used to, as much as I want to, but a couple years ago, 5 years ago now, I broke both wrists, shattered one of them, had to get a bone graft and plates and screws and all kinds of stuff from a mountain biking accident. So since then, I haven't been riding as much, partially because it hurts to ride now, and also partially because I'm a little scaredy cat now. So there's that. What else? Photography is a big one. I was really big into that in the last year or so, but with Crank now being taking up a lot of my time, I haven't been doing it as much. But I do love photography. If you want to see any of my stuff, joewelchphotography.com.
He's very good. Night, Birdie. Night, Birdshaw. Yeah, he's very good.
And then, action sports in general. Like, I love watching all action sports. I used to skateboard, snowboard, BMX. I still do some of it here and there, but a lot of times in my free time, I'm just kind of watching that stuff. So that's my answer, but we should probably get back to chat.
Yeah. Also, I'd be curious if anybody who's been hanging out with us and we're starting to get to know you, you could answer these questions too. So if you want to tell us what you guys are into, we'll know you a little bit better. It's kind of fun. Thanks, Aaron. That's very sweet. She said that I was basically the coolest show. It's a very nice thing to say. If I'm honest. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, we're hanging in there pretty good with a decent concurrent viewership today. This is nice.
Hell
You guys are hanging out with us. Dodge, what's up, Dodge? The game is the game going to have a track build feature like Mad Skills Motocross 3?
Brian, you never got back to my crazy idea I sent you last night, did you?
Yeah, I did, didn't I? I responded, didn't I?
Maybe I missed it. I screwed up that thing. But anyway,
I think I asked a clarifying question, actually.
Oh, should we just talk about it live on the air? I mean, who knows if it'll ever happen.
That's how we work. We work in the open. Let's hear it.
Last night I had the idea. I think the third map we want to do is going to be like a desert style map that's kind of like Red Bull Rampage style. And I had the idea because multiple people have been asking for like a trail building feature. And I was like, man, what if in conjunction with releasing the desert map that is like Red Bull Rampage, we actually released 2 versions of it. One of them that we built trails on with the new trail building feature. The other one, that's a blank slate. It has everything, but there's no trails carved yet. And we also add a team feature. So now players in the game can create teams, and they take their team and they build trails. And then we have a competition, and you guys have to make video edits with your team based on the trails you built with the new trail feature on the new Rampage style thing. And ideally, we would partner with a Red Bull, make it an official thing, and it'd be like a virtual Red Bull Rampage thing. I think that'd be sick. What do you guys think?
I think it sounds fun.
Because that's how Rampage works. You get a team, you build the trails, and then you compete on the trails you built, and then they see who does the most badass shit.
Yeah, so far the squad's liking this idea. I'm seeing it. Anton, welcome. Anton's got a question, Joe. I'm going to let you answer this one. Why doesn't the bike slide to the side and instead catches the ground and immediately keeps going?
It does slide now. In the last build, it didn't slide at all. In this build, we actually added some traction slip, and it does slide. And when you play, you can feel it, and you can see it at times too. I could show you an example here when I'm not in the middle of a race. But it's kind of controversial. Like, some players don't like it. They like the F1 style feeling of just gripping everything and being in full control, because honestly, it's really fun to feel like you're just in full, complete control. And when I'm on a real bike and I'm riding well, I feel that way too. Like, I feel like I'm in control. And that's kind of how we wanted Crank to feel. We didn't want it to feel all slippery and out of control. And, I think other games do it that way. And, we wanted a different feeling to it. So, yeah, there is some traction slippage. Like right here, I just slid around. You could even hear it. But it's definitely not as much as other games.
Yeah, there's a lot of support for this idea, Joe.
Sweet.
Everybody who's commenting on it seems to think it'd be a very good idea.
How sick would that be, though? Like, to have a game where you could just get a team, you get a blank slate of like a badass environment, and you get in there and you just carve trails out of it, and then you can share your trails with other people. You can join other people's servers, ride their trails. I mean, that would just be so much fun.
Billy Bob Joe says, it seems weird that you can still turn when you steer while in the air. I'm going to let you take that one too, Joe.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, if you can't, it feels broken and weird. Like that, it needs to feel that way because of whips and stuff. Like, you know, if you want to kind of throw what feels like a whip, I screwed up my race run that I was 3 seconds up, but that's okay.
Hey, you're the one who chose to demonstrate. He didn't ask you
That's
to
true.
demonstrate.
I felt
That was
pressured.
your decision. You got to own it.
You
Own your
can't you can't really change the direction you're traveling, but you can, you know, you can change the rotation and yaw and pitch and all that stuff with the bike. But that's what people want. They want full control with the two sticks. You know, so the left stick goes back and forth and spins, and then this one leans, and with the combination of two, you can do some cool stuff in the air.
Man, Leon is really helping us out in the comments. Thank you so much. It's great having somebody who knows what's up helping on that side of things, because we kind of have a lot of things going on. And both of us are new to this live streaming thing. Joe's not. Joe did some of it with Mad Skills. But yeah, it's tough keeping track of everything, and it helps so much. Aaron says, is Maggie making assets for the game that they, players, could place to decorate said trails?
Well, first we're going to do modding support. So modding support, I think any asset that Maggie makes will be part of the modding kit. So like when she makes the trees and the bushes and the flowers and the start gates, and I think the game's crashing again.
Oh my.
When she makes all that stuff, it'll be part of the bundle of like the modding kit. So when you do the modding kit, you'll have access to all the same things. Because we want your guys' modded maps to try to be as pretty as ours. Obviously, you'll be able to make stuff that, you know, you could use Unity assets or whatever you want, I think. But if you have access to our assets, they'll probably look prettier and look more like the vision of the game.
Elliot, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. He says, yo, this is sick. Can I ask you how you made the sick tracks? And that's going to be an Antgrass thing he made. And he's awesome, so that's why they're so good. And if this was made in Unity. The answer is yes, it is made in Unity. We use Unity for all the Mad Skills games because it's the same crew that made the Mad Skills games. Some of the same crew. So used Unity, just felt like it was the right engine for us, and that is what we use it in. And the tracks are good because Joe has assembled a dream team on this whole thing, including Antgrass, a well-known track builder who is designing almost all of our trails. That's why they're good. He knows what's up. Dodge says you're running laps like you're on Mad Skills. This game's very Mad Skills-like in a lot of ways. Like if you know Mad Skills, how you do it. The whole restart, you screwed up, restart thing. It's so similar to Mad Skills in that way.
Is that the
and
Hodge?
It makes you want to throw your controller across the room sometimes.
Is that LCQ Hodge?
No, that's Dodge.
Oh, Dodge. I said Hodge.
I think I said Dodge.
Oh, we're 2.5 up, guys.
Yeah, I said Dodge. What up, Rookie? Oscar is asking, will we be able to change terrain material as well as custom assets? Would be cool to not only make modern maps, but visual style as well. We've talked about this, Joe. How you feeling about it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys will probably be able to do, like, we want to give you guys the most freedom you can have, because I think that's what a modding community wants. So, you know, we'll try to do the most we can. We haven't, like, started really planning the modding yet. That'll come a little later. We'll get your guys' input when we do. But yeah, if you guys, you know, want more features, like, just let us know and we'll try to make it happen. Yeah, I figured.
Welcome everybody who's hanging out with us. We've broken another concurrent record, and I'm not bragging. Man. We're still under 100. These are not numbers that you brag about, but we're trying and we're having fun and we're doing this the best that we can, and it's good to see that we've got 80 people hanging out with us right now. Thank you very much.
So for all you new people, this is a work in progress. This game's called Cranked. We've been working on it about 4 months now. We've probably got another 2 years to go till it's done. But if you want to get involved, help us test the early stuff, give us your feedback, join the Patreon.
Shetty098, welcome. This is called Cranked. If you follow Cranked Game on TikTok, where you currently are, you will find us. Lots of video. You'll understand what we've got going on. Sean, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Freddie, thank you. He says, looks great for only 4 months. It's fun for 4 months, too. It's fun for however much time you put into it. It's just fun, I think. But Agree. What these guys have done in 4 months, I can brag on because I'm not responsible for it. They are kicking butt
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
tease a new downhill style, like proper downhill racetrack that Cedric's working on, and grass. So here's the start of what Cedric's been working on. No racing on it yet because it's not done yet, but
Cool.
you'll get a vibe for it.
Tom says it looks like a rip-off of Mavericks. That's crazy because we didn't even know that each other were making games. We had talked to Matt a year or so ago about a different thing. Thought he was a great guy and enjoyed it. And then when we kind of announced this was coming out and they announced Mavericks was coming out, I mean, it's all separate. We didn't know that it was happening, just as they didn't know what we were doing. So it's certainly not a rip-off of any other game. And it definitely doesn't play anything at all like Mavericks.
Nope.
I'm certain that there's
Zero.
some people
Feels nothing
in our
like
comments
Mavericks.
who have played Mavericks before and would tell you that this is not it's about as far from a ripoff of that game as it could be. I think very different. Oscar says doesn't dislike the art style but realistic stuff, but likes realistic stuff and feels more, what did he say, I don't dislike this art style but I do realistic stuff and feel more capable in that area. Oh, he's talking about modding still.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
Gotcha. And dude, when you go to mod, and if you want to mod a track that's realistic style, I think you should be able to. Like that should be your choice as a modder. So, if that's what you want to do, that's what you should do.
I love it. We've got some moto people with us today, Joe. I mean, you can always tell by a username if somebody rods moto.
Oh, of course.
Or by a comment. And Jacozzi says, y'all should add a dirt bike at some point with some tracks.
Don't tempt me.
It's in our blood. You never know, man. Could happen.
Oh, I knew I was gonna hit that tree. I always do.
Appreciate that follow, Sheedy, very much. And anybody else who's following us, thank you guys so much. We're working hard for this, and your support is it kind of keeps us going. Oh, Ted Nebula, that's a good question. Says, welcome, first of all. Says, looks pretty sick. Any snow maps planned? We've talked about, I saw that, I think it was 99.9% earlier asked about different biomes. So, yeah, we want to do different biomes, ultimately, for sure. But what about snow, Joe? What are you thinking about that?
I don't know. I mean, I am from the Midwest, and I know, like, fat bikes are really popular in Wisconsin, and there's like a whole scene up there in the winter where everyone rides. And I tried it once. I bought all this winter gear, went riding in the winter one time, and I was like, my lungs feel like they're going to explode. And I'm never doing this again because it's stupid. But in a video game, maybe it'd be fun. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if you had fat bikes riding around, like fat tire bikes riding around in the snow. Might be fun. We could definitely do it like on part of a map. I think like if you had a map, the top part of the mountain could be like snowy and put some snow trails up there. That'd be cool.
Tired R1, who I'm guessing is Yamaha guy, says, how many CCs do the bikes have? It depends on how much stamina you have, basically.
Depends on if your tails or not. If your tails, you've got a lot of CCs. But
yeah, if your tails, you've got all the CCs. Game name. He asked, it's called Cranked.
Man, we even put in the overlay Cranked in multiple places, hoping that would help, but I guess not.
It is what it is. It is what, maybe people are just excited.
Plus, more comments are better anyway. Helps the algorithm.
Exactly. Aperta, cool username. And thanks for the comment. Thanks for showing up and hanging out with us. Is there a third person? There will be for sure. We're only 4 months into this prototype. It's in the prototype phase. We're not even in the alpha phase yet. And we will do third person. Really want to get the bike and the rider looking good. We have all placeholder assets right now, and it's not very good, and we don't see any reason to shine extra light on this horrible bike in the game. So we're starting by putting a Frameworks bike in the game. If you guys are mountain bike people, you probably know Frameworks is. You can find out more about them on YouTube if you don't know about them. Super cool brand, super cool frame, and we are putting their bike in as our first official bike. Working on it now already. We actually have. You haven't shared any of Maggie's work on that yet, have you, Joe?
Nah, because I wanted to pass it by. We probably should pass it by Frameworks first.
We definitely should. Yeah, we definitely should. We're not going. When we work with people, when we collab with other companies, we always show them what we're doing before we take it publicly, because that's part of what makes a good collab. People know what they can expect, and then we're not going to ever sell them out by showing something before they get a chance to look at it. So, good idea. But we do have a work in progress. Frameworks bike done that Maggie's done, and it's awesome. Can't wait to float it by those guys and see what they think at Frameworks.
I think I'm starting to get the feeling that Ankras had that I couldn't replicate. He said sometimes he hits the roots and he just like comes to a stop. I feel like I just had that. That was the first time I've had it though. So yeah, you guys might see some wonkiness and some bugs, but that's part of this process. We're just kind of showing everything in the open and talking about it and trying to make it better together.
La Parateri, I don't know how to say that, says you guys should make it more realistic physics wise. I've got an answer for that. You want me to take it, or you want to take it, Joe?
Yeah, go for it.
The gist of it is what we want to make is a super fun game, and Joe has a vision of making a game that feels like it feels when he rides. Joe's been riding mountain bikes for decades. I'm a motorcycle guy myself. Joe's a mountain bike guy. He's been riding for decades. Not a pro, but enjoys riding, and he's capable. And he wants to make something that's realistic to what it feels like to ride, not something that's like a simulation of actual riding. He believes, and I think that this makes a lot of sense, that when a controller is your input that you have, you can't really make it crazy realistic because it's a controller. Like you can make a racing sim in a car rig realistic because you're sitting in a rig that has a wheel and pedals and all that stuff. But when you have a controller, you can only take it so far. So he's doing, and I think this is the right approach. It's kind of what we did in a lot of ways with Mad Skills Motocross. That was more arcadey, but we looked for the essence of what makes it so real, what makes it feel like you're riding and it's legit. And we're focusing on that. We're trying to make it realistic, but more in a feel way than in a simulation way. That's how I would answer it. Joe, what did I miss, or how would you say it?
Yeah, exactly. And we've heard that feedback recently. Like I did a post on TikTok where I asked people to vote. Do they want it more realistic or more arcadey? 60%ish said more realistic. So this build that you're seeing today, that we dropped today, was tuning the physics to be more on the realistic side. And now all the people who are part of the Patreon are testing it. We've got about 700 people that are actively testing these builds and giving us feedback. And so far that's bugged. The feedback on the more realistic physics is kind of mixed. Some people don't like it, and they think it was more fun before when it was less realistic. So in the end, we're going to do a combination of kind of what we think is the most fun and also what the community thinks is the most fun. But our priority in this game is fun. Fun is number one, not realism. Like it's not about making a hyper-realistic, complete replica of a mountain bike and all these things. It's about having fun and having those feelings of, cruising through the forest with your buddies.
Welcome, Specs 199. Good to see you. That's Travis Pastrana's number. Here's one for you from Skirt. Hey, Skirt. Welcome, noob. Glad to have you around. That's a good question, too. I have a question as a noob, and this might help anybody else who's just starting to play. Do you pump with the lean mechanic, or is it just about catching backsides nicely and generating speed that way? Really good question. Really good.
Yeah, so according to Zach, who's our programmer, there is a pump mechanic that was just like a natural kind of result of the physics engine. Like he didn't program it in separately, but it just kind of resulted. So when you're in a transition, whether it be a berm, corner, or the transition of a jump or whatever, if you crouch with the right stick, it is supposed to give you a little bit of a speed boost. I personally have trouble feeling it and noticing it. But we so I would say practice it, but it's more about, I hate that thing. It's more about kind of just like hitting downsides and kind of pumping. I still do it all the time because I feel like it's fun and it makes it flow. You're kind of just trying to always kind of jump and pump around and do all these kind of fun things like flowing. But in the future, we need to make a proper pump mechanic, I think, and make you be able to feel it and give like the player feedback when they do it correctly or incorrectly. I still don't know. I mean, a lot of games do pumping terribly, and it just makes me annoyed and frustrated. So if we can't totally nail pumping mechanic, we probably won't have one.
Rookie, yes, multiplayer is very important to us. It's a core of the game design. It's something that Zach, the programmer, is extremely excited to work on. He's so excited to work on it that I think you've already moved multiplayer up in the roadmap, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Well,
part of the beta. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, 100%, man. Joe's been talking about this game for years. He's been dreaming about this game forever. There were some things that were always just non-negotiable. One of those things was multiplayer, good multiplayer. One of those was an absolute focus on physics and awesome gameplay. And another thing was modding. These are things that from the very beginning, since I've been hearing him talk about this game, have always been in the plan.
Man, that was such a good time too. Bummer.
Oscar says he respects us for answering. He says, also doing realistic routing physics will not 100% satisfy everyone. He says he's a dev in sim racing. So good. Thanks for the authoritative voice on that. It's true. He says, I respect you guys for answering these questions with this level of calm every time. I got to tell you though, I think Joe and I are two naturally calm individuals. I think that's what we are. And also when I've been making magazines and games for 25, almost 30 years now. Good Lord, I'm getting old. And there's always been all kinds of, I've always made stuff for an audience. You get used to talking to people over time. So I just don't take things personally anymore.
Yeah. I see someone saying
different.
We're ignoring comments saying that it's like Descenders. We literally just spent like 10 minutes talking about the difference between this and Descenders, but you probably popped in late. So right now it probably looks like Descenders because it's a mountain bike game and we're using mostly Unity assets right now, and Descenders is a lot of Unity stuff. But I can assure you that it doesn't feel like Descenders, and the core loop will be completely different. The goals for the game are different. The visuals are going to be different. So it's a mountain bike game made in Unity. Everything else is pretty different.
And we'll never ignore any comment. If we ever miss a comment that we haven't answered 40 times, it's just because we're watching multiple screens, and I'm a rookie at this, so I'm still learning as we go. So if we ever miss something that you guys really care about, just ping me again, and maybe I'll see it the next time around.
But I'll go into details about Descenders. I played Descenders, love Descenders. I played a bunch of it. For a while, that was like the only mountain bike game we really had as a community, I think. So obviously it was, well loved, still is. But I always thought, as a rider myself, that Descenders just was, I could never get under, like, it was very slippery. I always felt out of control. I felt like I was fighting the bike and it wasn't doing what I was telling it to. And I don't feel that way when I'm on a real bike. When I'm on a real bike, I feel like I'm in total control. I know what I'm doing. I know how to control the bike. I know what surfaces are going to be slippery, which ones aren't, and how to like counteract for that. So we wanted to create a game that as soon as you picked it up, you immediately felt like a pro. Like, you don't need to spend 100 hours figuring out how to ride. It's not that hard to ride a bike in real life, so why make it that hard to ride a bike in a video game? So the point of this is to make you feel like a pro right off the bat. There's still a ton of skill gap. So like, you can even look at the leaderboards. These leaderboards are reset today. But you can already see, even between me, who's been playing a ton, 212, and suiting up here's a 204. Like, look at the skill gap. It's insane. So this game is meant to be more grounded, more responsive, more in control than Descenders. It also has a heavy focus on racing and first-person view. We're going to dial in the first-person view even better. There's a lot of things about Descenders' first-person view that I didn't like. So, those are the main differences. The biggest one is just the way it feels. I bet if you played this back-to-back with Descenders, I don't know of anyone who's played them back-to-back and said they feel the same. So.
Yeah, GTA Drift Guy, welcome to hanging out with us here. Definitely not ignoring anything that you're saying. Just sometimes miss things, for sure. We stand by every single decision that we're making in this game, and we will talk about anything that we do. We talk about it publicly too. It's kind of one of the cores of what we're doing, is developing this thing in public. It's easier. Life's actually easier when you're just honest about everything. So that's what our approach is. And if anybody else, if we miss something, just ping me again. But do better paying attention and not missing anything. Joe, let's get to the next question, shall we? I haven't asked my first question.
Yeah, ask your first one.
This is an easy one. And this is a good one for anybody else. I'll be curious, especially if we're kind of getting to know you guys because you've been hanging out with us, or even if you just feel moved to answer the question. And it's a simple one. Because Joe and I kind of decided ahead of time, we did communicate a little bit about these questions, and we said we were going to start real light and maybe get a little more in depth with the next one. So my question is simple. What is the movie that you have seen more in your life than any other movie, and how many times approximately would you say you have seen it?
Man, I wish Birdshaw was still here.
Why is that?
Because he always makes fun of me for my favorite movie that I've probably seen the most times, and you guys might too. I would probably say Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, he makes fun of me. He's like, you and your rom-coms. I'm like, whatever, dude. I like rom-coms.
I do too. I'm down with the rom-coms. I'm fine with them.
But probably that.
Well, I guess actually my answer is probably technically considered a rom-com too, although I think it transcends genre. My movie is so good, the one I've seen so many times. And that is The Princess Bride, the greatest movie ever made. Certainly one of the greatest movies ever made. I've probably seen it 50 to 70 times in my life.
Oh, dang.
Had it on VHS when it came out when I was young. Then I had it on DVD later and watch it all the time. I can basically quote the movie. It's brilliant. Rob Reiner directed it. Awesome cast. brilliantly written, awesome movie, The Princess Bride. Love it. If
The
y'all haven't
show
seen The
that
Princess
I've
Bride,
watched, I've seen it. It's been a long time though. The show that I've
hilarious.
watched the most is probably I Think You Should Leave. I've probably watched that a dozen times. The whole, like every
Oh my
episode, probably a
God.
dozen times.
Didn't you pick that up at my place?
Yeah, you showed me the
Or did
first
you?
episode where the dude is
I
like
thought
forcing the door open, and I was like, "This show's the best."
Yeah. Well, my daughter turned me on to it, of course, because she likes all that irreverent shit.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, by the way, I had a little bit of a goal. I didn't mention it to anybody before this today, but I was kind of hoping we'd get to 100 concurrent today, and we had a couple of periods where we were over 100 concurrent. Still
What?
modest. We know
Hell
it's not
yeah.
big, but cool for us. It's a milestone. So thank you all for hanging out. I'm gonna try to catch up on these comments here. Rookiet says, "Where are you guys located?" Joe's in El Paso, Texas. I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia. I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, up until the first day this month, basically August. I moved back down to Morgantown, where I lived most of my life. It's also where professional motocross racing is based in Morgantown, and the magazine I used to work for, Racer X, is based here in Morgantown.
I did see someone earlier, and I want to answer it really quickly. That asked,
Go.
"Is it just us developing this, like a big team, or not?" And the team that's actually working on this every day is 4 people: me, the game designer, kind of producer, all that kind of stuff. Zach, the programmer, Maggie's an artist, Cedric, also known as Antgrass, is a level designer. Those are the 4 that are working on it currently. We might add more in the future. Another guy named Elias helped with the programming. So we had 2 programmers at one point, but he's now on a different project for now. Hopefully we can get him back in the future because I love Elias and he's an amazing programmer. So that's
great.
it. 4 right now. And then we also have an ownership team. Like Brian here is one of the owners, co-founders, and he helps with stuff, but he's not working on it day to day, all day. So we have like Brian, Tobias, who's the CEO and, helping out with the business side of things. And then this guy Fish, who's also helping out. But those 3, Brian, Fish, and Tobias, don't work on it day to day. It's just kind of founders, and they help when they can.
I got to tell you, Sock, the name. You said The Hateful Eight is the best movie you've ever made, and I've never seen it. I looked at it the other. I know it's great. I know it's amazing. I looked at it the other day and almost hit play, but it was a little bit late. Felt like I needed to prioritize sleep that night. But your comment has just made me commit to watching The Hateful Eight within the next week. I'm watching The Hateful Eight by the time we have another stream. Thank you for that comment. I hear it's amazing. Aperta says, "Could we see a full lap of this track?" See, I don't know how far.
Yeah,
behind I am on this.
I'll keep doing a full lap and it'll restart. I'm trying to get good times, and then I restart when I mess up. But yeah, I'll do a full lap for you right now.
GB
I'll go
says,
slower.
"The fact that Mavericks was 10 times bigger than this amazing game because this is an amazing." Glad you like it. They just had a different approach to what they're doing. They were really going for it. They were focusing on a whole lot of things, and they went really, really big. We kind of have a different, I guess, belief in how and what we think is the best way to make games. We're starting kind of right at the center of it, and with the gameplay and getting that right, and we're kind of trying to keep things simple and focus on what we think is the most important. And in our experience, when we've tried to do too much in past games, it ended up being a bit of a trap, and nothing ends up being as good as you want it to be. Like, you have all these different things, but they're not quite what you want. So we're kind of focusing on gameplay and physics, and we're going to get that right. And then we have other plans, of course, in the roadmap, but trying to do one thing at a time. So I just think it's a very different approach to what those guys did. Chief Diddy says, "Definitely a Tarantino movie." Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, between Pulp Fiction, between Django Unchained, between Inglourious Bastards, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, this dude, Tarantino, did some stuff. Some of those movies are just unbelievable. Probably my favorite one is Django Unchained of his stuff, though.
Yeah, that's good.
One of our users said you should make the bike detail better in first-person mode. We just don't have the right bike in. It's just a placeholder bike right now, so we're not really focusing on shining any light on the current bike. We want to get our Frameworks bike in the game before we put too much light on it.
Yeah, if you don't know who Frameworks is, go Google Frameworks and look at their current downhill bike, and that's the bike that's going in the game next. Go check out Asa Vermette, who's like up and coming phenom. He's riding a Frameworks bike.
GB, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Clockwork Orange, getting kind of dark with the Clockwork Orange reference. You ever see that one, Joe?
Nope.
It's way before your time. I mean, it was kind of before my time, probably. When I was growing up, it was sort of God, I don't even know. I forget the name of the guy who wrote that book. It was a book first, of course. Stanley Kubrick movie. The guy who did like The Shining. It's super. It's out there. Disturbing movie, interesting, fun in a painful kind of way. I haven't watched it in years, but yeah, that's I get the drop for Clockwork Orange. If that's your favorite movie, then you're probably an interesting person.
That's a full lap. I don't know who asked for that,
Nice
but there's
show.
a full lap.
Night Leon, thank you for the help, man. Very, very much appreciate it. Leon was helping us so much
hell yeah. Thanks,
responding
dude.
to normal comments. We don't want to not reply to everybody. 2 weeks ago, I was trying to literally reply to everybody on the stream, but the problem is, especially now that we've got more people hanging out with us, if I respond audibly to every comment, I end up talking over Joe the whole time, and it's kind of one-sided. So it's nice when people who are hanging out with us and know what we're up to are answering some of the more common questions.
I'm going to do some free riding now, guys, because we fixed up all the trick physics, so I'm just going to cruise around and have some fun.
Nice. If any of you ask questions and we don't get to them here, it's not intentional. But if you come over on the Discord and hang out with us on Discord, Joe and I are there every day. We make sure we talk to everybody and respond to everybody. We definitely do our best at that. Stephen King. Camden Bates mentioned Stephen King. What's the best Stephen King movie? I mean, he didn't even like The Shining because it was pretty far from the book. I read the book, and I read much. I've read probably 20 Stephen King books in my life. I don't know. He's not known for his movies. The movies that are based on Stephen King. Probably Shawshank Redemption is the best ever, actually. That was based off of a Stephen King short story. Yeah, that's the best ever. One of the best movies ever. So that's got to be the best Stephen King story ever made into a movie. That was a good one. See, simple questions like that, Joe, are easy for everybody to answer. So I'm going to remember that if we do this in the future. Try to drop some that everybody can participate because it's cool. And we see a lot of the people who are hanging out with us repeatedly, like week in and week out, that we keep seeing people coming back and hanging with us. And then we get to know them a little bit better. It's nice. What types of stuff they're into. Look at this. Oren Long up on YouTube making a really interesting comment about favorite movie. The Private Eyes with Don Knotts from Morgantown, where I'm sitting right now. He's from my town. Actually, there's a buddy of mine, Jamie Lester, who builds statues, made the Don Knotts statue in downtown Morgantown. He says, The Private Eyes with Don Knotts and Tim Conway, who's one of the funniest humans ever, has to be his favorite movie. Wow, I've never seen it. Sounds to me like I have to watch The Private Eyes with two absolute legends of comedy. Found Harpy. Here's a question. Does your partnership with Frameworks include the components such as Fox suspension, or are most of the components going to be based non-branded? Good question. Let's answer this one, Joe.
I need a lawyer to tell me what to say.
I'll answer it.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, we don't. I mean, we don't have a licensing. We're not currently able to reach out to all of the companies behind all of the components. We'd like to. We'd be really cool to get all that stuff in the game legit. So we're just like looking at what, Joe's a big rider and knows what these components look like. We're just making sure we come up with components that are realistic and that are reasonable looking. But we are not currently to the point where we can brand all the components on the bikes. We just don't have the person power at this point.
They'll look like branded components you're used to, but they most likely won't have like the brand logos and stuff on them, unless we get permission from those brands. Yeah. Once the game is like more fully featured and we've got a huge fan base, and hopefully there's like hundreds of thousands or millions of people playing this. That's the goal. It'll probably be a lot easier to reach out to companies and get them to cooperate with us.
Yeah. Not Morgantown, Kentucky. I've heard about Morgantown, Kentucky. I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia, where WVU is, and where professional motocross is based. That's where I am. How long we've been making the game? About 4 months, Joe?
I don't think I have the speed. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been about 4 months.
Around 4 months. Aiden Waldo, high school mountain bike racer. Welcome, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. He says he cannot wait for the game to release.
Nice. What style of racing do you do?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What style of racing do you do, Aiden, and where do you race? I'm curious. Joe and I have talked about something lately. He and I are often of the same mind, and we are of the same mind. I understand the sentiment. Can't wait for it to release, and we'll be excited when it does. We're having so much fun with the process that we're kind of in the mode that, like, we're not really thinking about it getting past the finish line. I almost don't want it to be over because we're just having such a blast at it. I get the sentiment, and we'll be excited about it too for sure. But it's fun already, man. You can join our Patreon and play what he's playing right now. This build just came out today, so
Ooh, scrub too hard.
in a way, it's already out. The prototype's out. You know, the game's cranked. Yeah.
I don't have speed.
Thanks for the follow. I'm not super smart, man. I think you might be super smart. I'm super. Yeah. You put not in parentheses. That's kind of clever right off the bat. So I'm going to say that you are smart. Will there be an endless mode? I don't think that's really possible. I think we'd have to have a track that's sort of built itself to have an endless mode. Wouldn't we, Joe? Is there any way to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. But no, there's no plans for endless mode. I see a couple comments I'll answer real quick. Are we playing Descenders? No, this is cranked. We've talked about it a bunch in the past, but they feel very different. Their goals are different. The meta loop or the core gameplay loop's different. I also saw someone say the visual's going to look different. The map I was just playing on is the new map that Maggie, our artist, hasn't even touched. She hasn't been in there at all. But this is the prototype map where she did touch. She's not happy with it and she wants to make it better. But this gives you a little bit better of a visual of what we're going for. So I'm going to roll a couple laps here and you guys can see more along the lines of what the game will look like. But imagine this, but better.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Fiberglass says it looks like a Descenders knockoff. It's all just placeholder graphics. You know, we haven't started on the graphics yet. It's not going to look anything like this. We're only 4 months in, and if you play the game, it doesn't feel anything like any other game that's right. Yeah, we're not really sure how else to respond to that. We answer it so often. Not really sure what else to say about it.
Failed, but I'm going to keep rolling just so you guys can see the track and the map.
Muddy Waters, great classic blues artist, but he doesn't like the game much. He said he'd rather go play Descenders. It's cool that you have options, you know.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Mavericks came out. So many games you can play right now. So as long as you get to play something that's fun for you, man, good.
Did you try Cranked and it just wasn't for you? And if so, what about it did you not like? I'm curious.
Fudge Julia says thinks it already looks beautiful. Well, that's cool. It's going to look a lot better, Fudge. It's going to look a lot better, I promise you. Maggie's very good, and she's very dedicated to this, and she has a lot of big ideas. So I think over time it's going to look very decidedly like Cranked and not like anything else. Joe wants it to be cozy looking. He doesn't want it to be super extreme. He wants it to feel cozy. Describe what you want, what you envision for the way that it ultimately looks, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it all started when I played Firewatch, and as I was playing Firewatch, I was like, man, I want to bike in this game. Like, I want to ride a mountain bike through this environment. And that got me thinking, and that's kind of where, you know, the first inspiration for this art style came from was Firewatch, and then Maggie's going to take it to another level. But yeah, we want a game that, you know, part of the reason we all like to mountain bike, at least, you know, us on the team, is that, you know, we like to be outside, we like to be in nature, especially like fall colors and beautiful, you know, the sounds of nature, all those things, and we want to have that kind of feeling but take it up a notch. So kind of going for like a nice cozy, comforting, welcoming, colorful, beautiful vibe. That's the plan. Like, we want people to play this game and just enjoy being in the environment, even if you're just cruising around. You know, that should be a peaceful experience when you're just kind of hanging out in the wilderness.
Harry and Moto both want to know if you can show them a whip. So show them a whip.
Yeah, let me go show you a whip on the coolest jump in the game.
Dorkin mentions Firewatch. We've heard that a lot. Joe's a longtime Firewatch fan and admits that that's a bit of the inspiration ultimately for what he's going for.
The whips, I will say, whoops, screwed that up. We need to work on camera settings, and that'll make the whips better. And then when we have third person and stuff, whips will also be better. But you're in full control of the whip, so if this looks bad, it's probably more my fault than anyone. I got to restart that run. That was a terrible run. But yeah, it's full control, similar to like other games. Like, you use both sticks to kind of just control the bike. The yaw, the pitch, the spin, all those things. I guess yaw and spin is the same. I can't talk and play at the same time. I'm going to play, Brian, you talk.
Okay.
I'll do a whip up here in a second.
That. Cool. Yeah, we're getting a lot of the Descender stuff. I don't know if anybody's listening still who feels like this is Descenders. It's kind of looking forward to when we actually put our art style in the game so that it doesn't kind of give that first impression so often. But, all I can say is if you played it, it doesn't play anything like it. I mean, we're just focusing on physics right now. It's a very different game. Oftentimes, people who have actually played it will comment and answer these things. If there's anybody listening who is playing and wants to kind of chime in the comments about what this feels like to you, whatever that is. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you do think it feels like another game, or if you don't, just with the honest your honest take on what Cranked feels like. But to us, it doesn't feel anything like these other games. It's completely different. We're going for something very different. But it's made in Unity, and it has all these placeholder graphics. So a lot of people seem to think it looks like Descenders, but it's nothing like it. I promise you when you play. Very different. Yeah, Racked Records. Racked Records. Is that are you a label, Racked Records? I'm curious who you are. It's a good username. He says feels nothing like Descenders. Harpy says feels nothing like Descenders. So that's generally, that's basically exclusively what we get from people who have actually played this game. They quickly seem to understand what we're going for when they actually play. Yeah, Aaron says it feels to her more like riding in real life, which is really what Joe's driving feeling is here. He's been playing Descenders for a long time, but it never felt like riding. We're trying to make a game that feels like you feel when you ride.
There are some bad whips or mediocre whips for you.
Dorkin says Cozy Skate 3 vibe.
Nice.
Severin, why only one brake? Because it's a terrible placeholder bike. We just haven't done the art yet. We're only 4 months into this game, crew. So we're focused on physics first. If you don't have good physics, you have absolutely nothing. So our energy has gone into making gameplay.
We have a front brake. See, I just endoed onto my face. So in the game, there is a front brake. It just there's not a visual one.
But we partner with Frameworks. If you guys know what Frameworks is, and that's going to be their downhill bike is going to be our first bike in the game. We're working on it now. We want to get it out as soon as possible. We need to finish it. We need to run it by the crew. Frameworks, make sure they're good with it. They don't have any changes. Once we're ready, we can drop it. Maybe I'll talk about Cranked collabs right now, Joe. We're talking about collaborating with cool companies. I'll just drop that out. What we're going to do.
Yeah.
While you're riding. A couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, I floated an idea that I had. It's kind of designed for our founding players, like y'all who are here with us early, playing the first people who have played Cranked. And the idea is that if you hang out with us on this live stream, or you check it out after the fact, you can get a code each week with a company that we collab with, and we make an in-game T-shirt that you'll get to have in the game when we get customization implemented. And we want to partner with cool brands and companies trying to get something that they really believe in off the ground, or bands or artists who are sort of into mountain biking or action sports and want to participate with us, streamers who are into this type of thing. And basically we want to make exclusive T-shirts that you can get for just like maybe 2 or 3 days only. And you can only get them if you get a code from this live stream. You don't have to watch it live, but you'll have 2 or 3 days to get the code. And if so, you just go, there's a place you can go and you redeem it and you reserve the shirt. And we never offer the shirt ever again. It's free, totally free. But then you'll have, as early players of Cranked, you'll end up having something in the game that you just can't get any other way. And it's totally free, kind of cool. And we have our first collab partner, actually. I think I'll go ahead and mention that, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pumped, man. We're working with, the first shirt is going to be with our buddy Richie, who owns a killer bike shop in El Paso, Texas called Rad Dog. He's got an awesome design. His logo's killer. Yeah, Joe's wearing his Rad Dog t-shirt right now. And so next week on the live stream is when we'll drop our first code. You know now it's going to be with Rad Dog. Really cool design. It's cool whether you know the bike shop or not. Really cool dude, super hilarious guy too. And yeah, we're gonna work with him. We're gonna the first Cranked collab in-game T-shirt that you'll be able to get is Rad Dog, and we'll have a code next week in the live stream, and you'll have, I think, 3 days to claim it. So that way, if you're in Australia or you're not around, you have else you have to do when we're streaming. You can just kind of come back later and check it out and grab the code from it. So yeah, it's a go. We came up with like a manual way to pilot this thing. We're just going to do maybe 3 collabs and see how it goes. If people are into it, if it's worth the effort. If so, we'll come up with a better, like probably a permanent website where you can claim shirts. But to start with, it's going to be manual. It's going to be me running it basically with a Google form and stuff like that. But we'll have more info next week. So come back next week and you can get that Rad Dog shirt in the game.
Dorkin said, what is this? Why does it say you're number one? Number one top gifter? What does that mean? I don't know how TikTok works.
Yeah, we're old.
Your
We're
top
learning.
viewer,
We're
dude.
learning.
Dork, and you're TikTok's telling me you're like #1 on a bunch of things,
Yes.
and you say,
Yeah.
"Give me a key, and I'll beat your score." Hit me up in my DMs, and I'll give you a key, and you could try it and see if you could beat my score. All right. Only because he's #1 in a bunch of stuff. So don't everyone start asking, but I'll hook you up.
Severin followed us. Blaine followed us. Thank you so much.
Ryan
have we
asks,
seen the game? Good.
Ryan asks, are you going to be able to race people on the same track, or is it more of a time trial type thing? Right now, it's going to be time trial. I want it to be similar to how real downhill racing is, which is time trial. So that's the plan for now. It's also very hard to do like multiple people with collisions and all that stuff. It's a lot more complicated. It'll take a lot more money and resources, and it's kind of out of the scope of our indie team right now. But we will have multiplayer where you can like ride with your buddies and hang out. But there won't be collisions turned on. Yes, it's a PC game.
Blaine, you can try the game on Patreon if you have a PC or a Mac. I run it on a basic MacBook Pro on medium graphic settings, and it runs fine. So if you want to check it out, all you have to do is do the lowest level paid subscription on Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you'll get every build we release that month, and you get to keep them even if you don't renew that Patreon subscription later. So love to have you try it if you would like to. Grammy wants to, hey Grammy, welcome. Wants to know if you can backpedal.
No, can't backpedal. That'd be interesting. I have a question though. Like, why would you want to backpedal? Is that a feature you would want, and why? I know, like at the start gate, the pros are always backpedaling, like warming up for the race and stuff. But I don't. Just curious. When I ride, I never backpedal like daring a ride. I don't know. Curious why you think that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Joey Cobber's back. What's up, Joey? Welcome. Hey, Specs. We've got another French Zach here. Hanging out with us. What's up, Zachary? Nice. Racked Records is a record label based in the UK. I want to know. I'm gonna try to remember to check out your stuff, but I want to know what kind of music are you guys making at Racked? I'm curious. I love all music, like I said, except not usually the mainstream new country stuff. I struggle with that stuff. Some of it I like. I like country music, but not too much.
This is my first time on the new Fika break with the leaderboards wiped. Not too terrible.
We had a challenge from last week. I don't know with the new physics if it's going to be fun for you or not, though, Joe. The idea was that you were going to bomb. You were going to do the bomb pop challenge and see how fast you could get down from start to finish without worrying about the markers at all.
Let's just
I
try
know you're
it.
practicing on it this week. Let's see. This is the first time you've tried it on these brand new physics?
I think so. Yeah.
So he's trying to see how fast he can get down Fika break without having to worry at all about the markers. It's kind of a fun challenge. Fortunately, as long as you cross the finish line, we'll still tell you what your time was, even if your run is invalidated by missing a set of markers.
What trail is this?
Ryan Martinez, hey man, thanks for hanging out. Wants to know when the Frameworks bike's available. We're not sure. We're working on it. We have a work in progress version done, and it's absolutely dope. It looks killer, but Maggie's got some finishing touches to put on it, and we still need to run it by Logan at Frameworks to make sure they're okay with it. Anytime we collab with anybody, we want to show them what we're doing before we put it public.
Is this what?
Just to be a good partner.
Dude, this has to be the Easter egg that Zach did.
You just found?
Zach told me there was an Easter egg, and I haven't found it yet. This is a new trail I've never seen before.
Wow.
As far as I know.
Huh.
I was like, what is this trail doing that I've never, like, because I knew I had my route map to get down to the bottom, and I kept oh, dang. Get back on there.
Yep, Joey. We're talking about that, Joey.
Nice. So that just takes you to this dead end. I kind of want to know where the start of it is.
Blaine, no, it's not just the two of us developing the games.
It's right here.
I'm one of the founders and one of the owners of the company, but I'm not on the development team. I'm more in a consulting role. Joe and I work on stuff together and help with marketing and a lot of stuff on the business side of things. But we have Zach is the main programmer, French guy who lives in Sweden. We're all from the Mad Skills team, you know. We all made Mad Skills Motocross before, and Mad Skills BMX, and those mobile games before we made Cranked. And Joe and I are also owners of Turborilla, who makes Mad Skills games. But there's also Maggie. She's the artist that's on the team. This guy Elias helped us with programming for a while. He's back on Turborilla Mad Skills stuff right now. He's not working on Cranked currently. Then we have Antgrass. The track builder is designing the trails, most of the trails and stuff. So it's a small team. Joe's the game director. Joe's been dreaming about this game for years, and it's his vision. He's kind of, you know, he's responsible for the whole thing as a game director. So that's what Joe does. I consider it him making art. That's what I consider it. I think Joe is in an artistic endeavor currently.
The secret trail ruined my my route though.
Yeah. Jules, thanks for the follow. You say you want to buy, but you can't use Patreon. Why is that? Tell us why you can't use Patreon. I'm curious. Ethan, thank you for sharing the live, man. Appreciate
There you
that.
go. There's a 40.0. Top to bottom.
Skoda, it looks like Descenders, but better. It just, the thing about the way it looks is it's just all placeholder stuff. This isn't like, we just haven't done the art yet. So I think when we make the game and when we do third person our way, all this stuff, it's not going to look like other games. But we just need some more time. We're only 4 months in.
I've spent many a poop on your guys' games. Hell yeah, dude. Best way to play Mad Skills.
What is that?
He said I've spent many a poop on your games. Yep.
Well, you did see the trailer we made for Mad Skills Motocross 3, I assume. If anybody here never watched the Mad Skills Motocross 3 release trailer, I highly encourage it. Dutch Arcade called it the greatest video game trailer ever made, and I don't like bragging on things like that very much, but I actually think that trailer could be. Hell, I'm not the one who made it, so I can brag on it. This guy Marco made it.
He doesn't have a credit card or PayPal.
Yeah. Aaron wants to know when the Maggie Q&A is. Maybe you need to start pinging her on Discord, Aaron, and try to draw her out a little bit. She's, as I told you guys before, it's not her way. She's a very chill person who is not always super comfortable being front and center. So, but maybe if you draw her out on Discord, you'll get her along. She seemed more willing when I suggested she come on here with us, and doesn't need to be the center of it all. Didn't you think so, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be doable for her. Get her on as a guest. Maybe we do like a shorter one, or one where she can just pop in for 30 minutes and pop out.
Skoda, there's a one developer, one programmer, there's one artist, there's one level builder, there's one game director, and then there are a couple of consultants like me. But basically 4 people are working on it on a day-to-day basis. Landyway, if you go to Patreon and just search for Cranked Game, you'll find it there, and you should find all the details.
New flip physics now. I know I talked about this earlier, but I'm sure some of you are just now tuning in. Like, this is without tucking, and then if I add in the tuck, you see it spins it up. So now you can like tuck in a flip and it spins it up, which is so much fun. So much fun to just do these big flips and kind of mess with your speed of them. I can't wait till third person's in so we can like really, you know, kind of get a feel for how they're looking. Where do you find Patreon? Patreon.com. They have an app too. But yeah, just go to patreon.com and search for Cranked, or go to the link in our bio and it'll take you right there. Patreon's a big platform where basically creators can, you know, provide content behind a paywall is basically what it is. But a lot of podcasts use it, artists, all kinds of people.
Shelby's up in the house.
What up, Shelby?
What's up, brother? Good to see you back, man. Still first person mode only, man. So I know you can't play yet, but we're going to get to third person as soon as possible because we got to have our guy Shelby playing. That's for sure. What is Maggie's handle on Discord? Do you know, Joe? I'll have to look it up and see.
I think it's Maggie.
Just Maggie? Her real name is
so.
Magdalena. Magdlena. Or Magdalena. I can't remember how she spells it.
All right, let's do some jumps. Could I boost the Discord server? Yeah, dude. If you boost the Discord server, I'll give you access. For sure.
Oh, there you go. This person, sometimes on TikTok I see an avatar, but I don't see a username, and I'm old, so I don't know what this means or what to what to call a person like that. I try and highlight it to see if it's all in white, but no. So no name. Wow, this actually looks so smooth. That's what's holding back other biking games. We want it to be smooth. That's what we're going for. Thank you.
Like the main feeling I wanted, like when I went on I don't know, you guys know, when you're riding your bike and you're with your buddies and you're just cruising down a fun flow trail, it's all about just hopping around, pumping, jumping, scrubbing. Like I'm not really scrubbing in real life, so whatever. But like that's the fun of it. I think it's just like moving around and having fun and just you're in total control around your bike, and we wanted the game to feel that way too. So it's very playful. It rewards playfulness. We might have taken that back a little bit in the last build, and we need to bring it back. Maybe it's hurting a little bit now because there's some penalties if you land hard or whatever. But yeah, we just want it to flow and be fun and intuitive. Like it, everything you do, it just reacts immediately. It's not animation based; it's physics based. So it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Racked Records, come hang out with us on Discord if you're interested. I'd love to hear more about what you guys are doing at your label. Joe, let's do another question. Got one? What's your question number 2? Did you already ask? No. We've only asked
question
one each, right?
number 2. I went long on that. What was a video game that had a big impact on you as a child or like just growing up, and why?
That's a good question. I'm going to answer with 2 of them. The first one was a game called California Games. It was an action sports game. It had a side-to-side surfing mode, had a half-pipe mode, had a hacky sack mode, believe it or not. It wasn't all action sports. It was all kind of like, I guess, what the view of what California was like at the time. But that was fun. And then the other one I would say would be an arcade game from earlier called Dragon's Lair. It was the first game that ever used a laser disc in it, so it was more animated, and it was all about timing. And if you got your timing right with the joystick, you would successfully advance to the next pre-recorded screen. And if you didn't get your timing right, you would fail and you would see your guy die. I think it was the first game that ever cost 50 cents. It was the first one I ever saw that cost 50 cents. But I don't know, it just kind of showed me it was the first game I saw where I kind of saw where games are going. Like before that, everything was so super arcadey, and I don't know. I would wait in line to play that game. Had so much fun with it. It was great. So yeah, that's my answer. California Games at home and at the arcade Dragon's Lair. How about you, Joe?
If you guys in chat have answers of what game had a big impact on your childhood, and if you're still a child, then let us know what games you're loving right now. My answer would be Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I remember when the demo came out and you could get it. I think it was like it came in like a disc in like Transworld magazine or some action sports magazine gave you a demo, and all you could play was the warehouse level. And I just remember me and my friends and my sisters would just sit there and play that warehouse level over and over and over and over. Like it was just cool that finally like a video game recognized action sports, and I feel like that was the first like mainstream action sports game of my childhood. And it was just kind of like, oh, cool. Like video games recognize us and that we want to play games too. And then after that was like, Dave Mirra BMX and Matt Hoffman's BMX game. And I loved all those. And I think I remember renting a Xbox or a PlayStation 2 from Blockbuster and renting like some X Games game that had snowboarding. So for me, it was mostly the action sports games. But the 2 that really stood out was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and the Dave Mirra game.
Very cool. We're getting some other answers. Transcend says MX Unleashed and Sean White snowboarding. Specs has been playing moto games for the last 30 years. Specs, I always liked, I know it was early and arcadey, but I always liked, I think it was called Ricky Carmichael Championship Motocross. Game made by THQ years ago. I actually raced Ricky directly at that game and the bastard beat me, which sucked because I just choked. I've been practicing, and I was certain I was going to beat him, but I was nervous when I played him and he beat me, so that kind of sucked. But I always loved that game. I would listen to Karma to Burn music, a legendary rock band from Morgantown, and just grind at that game hour after hour. And then RC beat me, unfortunately. Aaron mentioned ATV Off-Road Fury 2, Downhill Domination from Squatch. Specs likes Dave Mira, ATV Fury, MX
Hell
versus
yeah.
ATV Unleashed, and Reflex. I know you have strong opinions there, Joe.
Yeah. Love Reflex. Oh, I was hoping I could hit that berm and hit that jump going that fast. We actually, I have Reflex still on my computer, and when we were working on like the whip physics and the air physics, I just went into Reflex and was like messing around, seeing how things felt, and we use them as big inspiration because I know in the community everyone loves the Reflex whip physics. So the whips do feel good. I think what's making them look better right now is the camera's locked to the bike. So, if you do a whip, it like your head isn't also looking at the landing. That's the way it needs to be. So we'll eventually have a setting where you can, like in MX bikes, where you can unlock the camera from the bike and have them separated. Keep them separated. Isn't that a song?
Yeah. Offspring. Good night, Dorkin. Good night in Sweden, man. Midnight there. Yep. I know that time. It's 11:30 anyway. I know that U.S. East Coast of the U.S. Sweden time difference. I know now, like in my brain. I've been working with Sweden and Swedish co-workers for so long now that I always know what time it is in Sweden naturally. It's the game's cranked, crew. Thank you for the follows on TikTok. It's not going to be free. We're a small team and we're self-funded. We don't have a publisher giving us money for this thing. We refuse to put ads or microtransactions in the game, so we can't really just sort of kind of put together our own money to fund this thing and then give it away. So what we're going to do instead is always make sure that we're charging a fair price for it and do everything we can to deliver awesome value at any point in the game's process. So whether it's now, if you subscribe on Patreon for $5 a month, I think what we're providing for that is worth well more than $5. You get this build and any other build we release for the next month.
And within the month will be the build with the framework spike.
Yep.
Unless something crazy happens.
Oh, that'll be within. Okay, good, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were
probably the
cool.
goal was next Thursday, but Maggie thinks it'll take her a little longer because she really wants to get it right, and I told her, yeah, take your time and make it right. So maybe 2 weeks from now, 3. So I think if you were to subscribe today, you'll get this build. We're probably going to tweak the physics based on everyone's feedback after they spend the weekend playing this. We'll tweak physics, probably do another build next week with like just physics adjustments. And then probably the week after will be a build with a new bike.
I'm going to ask my next question, but first I have to drop a quick rule on our viewership. We need to have a moratorium on all Joe's mom jokes because Joe's mom is actually hanging out with us now on YouTube. Hey, Karen.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
And I keep seeing comments about boosting the server. Anyone who boosts the server, Discord server, yeah, I'll send you a link to get copy of the current version.
What do you want him to do? You want him to come over to Discord and deal with it over there?
Yeah, just boost the server. I'll see that you boosted it, and I'll send you a DM and hook you up with the link.
There you go.
Because I really would love to get the server up to level 3. It's just so expensive if you do it by yourself. Like, it's like hundreds of dollars. It's crazy. So yeah, new rule. Boosters can get it for free for the month you boosted.
Levi's, how in-depth is the bike customization? You've got a DJ with a triple crown and 1 brake.
This is a placeholder crap bike, dude. We're working on a frameworks proper downhill model now. But customization is mostly going to be cosmetic. So you'll be able to, we're hoping you'll be able to change the colors of like all the components, kind of similar to the way like Street Dog BMX does it. And then we're hoping to have like we'll have different bike classes. So it'll be like downhill, enduro, trail, dirt jumper, maybe someday BMX if we get around to it. And within the class, all the bikes will act the same, but we're hoping to have like different brands of bikes. We need to partner with those brands and get deals signed. But the plan would be like, we might have 10 different downhill bikes from, one from different brand, each from different brands, and you can kind of select which one you want. We can also make our own like custom, we'll have our own downhill bike model, and then we could make like custom wraps and decals and stuff for it, and you could use that. So there'll be a bunch of customization, but we're not going to go as far as like you can customize every component and, put on SRAM or Shimano or whatever. Each component will mostly be customizing colors, and then full bike kits from branded bikes is kind of the plan. But we'll see what happens. Things will change.
Spec says your mom's way hotter than she has any right to be. Gotta say, Spec, you're right about that. Sorry, Joe. Shelby says he thinks an underrated part of any great game is the soundtrack. MX Unleashed, Skate, Shaun White Snowboarding, Forza Horizon, all great games with legendary music to the vibe.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what was awesome and I loved? Was back in like the original Xbox, you could put like a music CD into it and download your music, and then certain games would let you play your own music. And I always thought that was nice. So I could just upload my own soundtrack and then be playing a game and listen to whatever music I wanted to. But yeah, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack was great. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah. Niall wants to know how far from release. We're only 4 months into this thing. Everything, all the graphics you see are placeholder at this point. We're just working on physics now, so we're quite a ways from global release. We don't really know when it's going to be. It's going to be a while still. Thank you for sharing it live. We've got this Alexander guy says he's pirated our game, so okay.
Cool, thanks. Thanks for pirating from an indie developer. Very helpful.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, pirating from indie developers. That doesn't help as much. But he does say it feels exactly like Descenders. Physics dragging force will be adjusted? ?
I mean, if you, I don't know how much. Well,
yeah, I don't know.
A lot of things will be adjusted, but also it doesn't feel anything like Descender. So either you haven't pirated it, or you haven't played both, or you, I don't know. But
yeah, might be trolly. I don't know. Brooke, welcome. Thank you for sending a rose. Appreciate that very much. Joe, I got another question for you, dude.
Yep.
Number 2. What was your history as a musical performer, and what was your most memorable gig?
Ooh.
I know the answer to the first part, but most of the people watching don't know the answer to the first part. So that's my question. Your history as a musical performer, and what was your most memorable gig?
Yeah, in high school, I was the lead singer of a hardcore screamo band called Rosaline, Rosalane. You can find it on Spotify or YouTube if you want to hear how crazy it was. We're All Just Passing Through is the album I was on, and then I quit and joined the army, and I got a new guy. But yeah, lead singer of a hardcore screamo band. And I think my favorite gig, most memorable gig, was when we played Downers Grove, Illinois, and it was with Greeley Estates, which Ryan Zimmerman, who's the lead singer of Greeley Estates. He's basically my big brother. It was with My American Heart, Gym Class Heroes, and I think that was about it. And those were bands we looked up to, big bands, and Rosaline had the most fans at that show, so I was always proud of that. But that was a really fun show. A lot of good memories at that show. So number 2 would be Battle of the Bands at the Chicago Theater, but we didn't win.
Was it a packed house?
It was not a packed house.
The Battle of Bands?
No.
Gotcha. Honestly,
theater.
I didn't. My musical career was when I was just out of college, and it was just local, opening up with an acoustic guitar and singing a mix of some songs I wrote and songs I loved that other people wrote, and it was just usually I'd be playing for under 100 people. I had a couple of gigs that were bigger than that, but it was pretty chill stuff. But it was the first gig ever. The very first one that I ever did by myself was the best show I ever played, just because it was wild to be doing it. I was nervous, super nervous, and it was at a place called Terrapin Station in Morgantown, and at the time it was a $1 cover, a tiny place, and I got the full door, and 82 people came, made $82 that night, free beer. The room was packed. I was so nervous going into the first song, and by like the end of the first song, I was like, oh. And I was good to go, and things went really, really well, and ended up playing a bunch of shows for the next year or so, and then I hated it. Then I hated waiting around the bar until 3 a.m. to get paid $50. So I decided to hang that up, and I started working at Racer X at that point. So, hey Tajni, thanks for stopping by. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Tajni87. Hey B and Joe, thanks for stopping by.
Game name's Cranked. A bunch of people ask for game names Cranked. Alexander, what do you mean by dragging force? Do you mean like air drag, or on the ground? I don't know what you mean by dragging force.
RX, it's called Cranked. Yeah, and Alexander, he thinks we're copy. He's just straight up called us copycats. I'm not.
I mean, that's fine. It's your opinion, but we're definitely not copying them at all, and we're trying to do something completely different.
Yep.
I mean, part of the reason we made this game was because I was dissatisfied with some of the things they did, and I wanted to do it differently.
Yeah.
So.
But also, people see things differently sometimes, man. It's just how it goes. We gotta know what we're trying to do and stick with that, no matter what. Listen to feedback, of course, but
When you're in the air and gravity dragging down. Yeah, I got you. So it's maybe a little too floaty. This build, some people said, was too floaty. I don't think we changed anything that had to do with that, but maybe we did. So things are getting tweaked and adjusted. That's why we want people playing early and giving us feedback.
Tess is here.
Oh, shit. What's up, Tess?
Tess, what is up? Tess, who is watching on YouTube right now, Joe and I worked with for years at Turbarella. It's just an amazing, sweet human being. You know, she left Turbarella maybe a year-ish or so ago, and Joe and I kind of changed what we were doing there. I'm not working at Turbarella anymore either, so we don't get the opportunity to see each other on Instagram and stuff sometime. But Tess, I'm so happy to see that you're here. I didn't get your username first, but then I saw how you signed off. Thanks for coming. I miss you a lot.
Miss you too, Tess.
Tess was glue at Turbarella. You know, Joe?
She always complimented my hair. You know, now I don't get hair compliments anymore because she's gone.
That guy who called you Tame Impala was indirectly complimenting your hair.
Yeah.
Tess, I'm so happy to see that you're here with. Very much so. You're the best.
Mr. Paradox, good luck with the game venture, bro. I'm too old to jump on now, but wanted to see the journey. Thanks, man. Part of the reason I'm making this is because I'm too old to ride a real bike in real life. I feel like all my bones and everything hurt, so I wanted to make this to be able to, to make it easier to ride. I started climbing because it feels less impact. I don't smash my wrists when I climb, hopefully.
A person, I can't see the username, or I can't understand it anyway. It's, yeah, V1 something. Hi. Played it and loved it, but are the animations going to change?
Yeah, we haven't done anything with those yet. So we're waiting until our bike and rider model are done. These were placeholders. We don't want to spend a bunch of time animating placeholders and have to redo it once the new models are done. Plus, these models are very limited in what we can do with them. We basically just threw these in here because our goal of this prototype was to test to see if we could make a fun mountain bike game quickly. Like we only had 6 weeks to do a prototype, and if it didn't work out in those 6 weeks, we would cancel the whole project. So you gotta prioritize only feeling and physics. So visuals have not really been worked on much. So yeah, we will get our proper bike and rider model in there, and then after that we'll animate them. And, you know, it's physics-based animations, so it's not like putting in canned animations where you do a button press and something happens. It's more like fixing the rider's body position and how they lean when you put the lean inputs on the sticks and all those things. But we'll work on all those once the models are in there, and then once all that is done, we'll add third person, and then the game will be looking really nice. But we're only 3 to 4 months into this thing, and we just haven't had the time yet to get to those things because there's only 4 of us working on this thing day to day.
Bibu rightfully says now he. Sometimes I assume somebody's a he and I don't know. So no, my apologies if I have that. I'll say they. Now I'm happy that Tess is here and I don't even know her. Exactly. That's Tess for you right there. You don't even have to know her and she's going to make you feel better. Oh, thanks, Tess. She says she's impressed by how far the game has come.
Dude, it's Zach and Maggie, man, and Elias Joe. And Cedric.
And Elias, yeah.
Crazy.
She knows.
Crazy good.
She knows those people. She knows how good they are.
We do a double on
this? If Mimi
this?
drops up in this place, if Mimi shows up over here, then we're gonna have a party.
Oh dang!
Oh, thanks for V1. Physics feel great. Awesome.
Man, I was doing a good run, and then I wanted to do a double backflip on the big jump. Screwed it up.
Rack Record says we need to get the animation and descender responses on a soundboard. You're gonna need to get a stream deck so you can just kind of hit the button. Boom.
Yeah, I think I will get one eventually. I was thinking about that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean you can get basic ones for pretty cheap. So
I got a Best Buy 10%.
Totally the Joe approach.
Yeah. No, I got a $10 coupon at Best Buy, so I got to go spend that.
Anybody who knows Joe knows that anytime he gets something, he always has to get he does so much research for everything that he gets. and he always gets the absolute best thing that he can possibly think of. That's his way. That's what he does.
My hands are sweaty. This is how I unsweatify them. It's what you do when you're climber. You just wave your hands around, trying to make your hands dry. I should get my chalk out just to play the game.
MS says, how do I get this map?
This is the new map. So if you get the new build on Patreon, there's actually two. Like if you when you start the game, the game's crashing on me. Give me a second. That's what happens when you guys test pre-alpha builds, but it's okay.
We've had a few crashes today.
M invited you to co-host. I don't know who M is. I don't understand. I'm not going to accept that. When you open up the game, there's two maps here. The one I've been playing on mostly today has been this open world map. So if you get the latest build we put out today, go to the open world map, and then you're good. When Knack look back, dude, that would be sick. I also need turn downs. Turn down's my favorite trick. Probably more for like the dirt jumper and stuff. It'd probably be hard to do a turn down on a downhill bike. Does anyone do that? But in BMX, man, I love turn downs. Something about a good turn down. Does the bike slide out, or how do falls look? Yeah, I can show you that. So we actually just improved fall detection in this latest build, but like that's kind of the bike sliding. I'm surprised that it didn't crash there, but I'll show you a crash right now. You can definitely crash. Like if you land sideways on something like this, you'll crash. And in turns, if you go into a fast turn and you turn sharp, I'll do it up here, and I'll be quiet so you can listen. And if you hear the skidding, then you're kind of slipping. Your traction is slipping.
Hey, Callum and Zan, thanks for stopping by on TikTok. We want to put it on consoles. We're focusing on PC first, but the plan is, consoles isn't the plan. We just have to show that we can do what we're trying to do on PC first. So one thing at a time. We're only 4 months into this thing, so we're kind of at the beginning of a long journey.
So anyway, that was a bunch of slipping and falling.
Yeah. Is it bend over? That's a funny name. Is there going to be difficulty settings?
A lot of people said they wanted like a hardcore mode or like a realistic mode, and then we also have an arcade mode. And honestly, for a team of 4 working on a game like that, I think to do like multiple modes and all these kind of things is when you start doing too much. And if you do too much, you kind of have to half-ass all those things. So I'd rather do less things well than try to do too many things at once. So I don't think there'll be difficulty modes. Each racetrack will have different like goal times, and so bronze, silver, gold, kind of Trackmania style, something like that. So there's kind of a difficulty there and like which ones you can beat, but I don't think there'll be like overall difficulty setting.
Do you think we'll have different tire options? From Travis. What's up, Travis? Do you think we will have different tire options in the future? Downhill tire in the front, trail in the rear, different widths, later in development, etc. How are you feeling about tires, Joe?
I think as a customization option for visuals, I would like to have that, but I don't want them to change the physics. The reason I don't like tuning setups or tire choices or any of those things, because I like when all the players are kind of on a level playing field. It makes it more competitive in my opinion. So I want all the bikes to basically be the same. I want them to look different. I don't like when players, have to wonder, like, did I lose that race because my setup was wrong, or I don't have the right tires on, or whatever. I want people to know, oh, I lost because I wasn't as good.
Ernie and Zan, thank you guys so much. Yo, for 4 months, you guys have made so much progress, Ernie says, and 4 people in 4 months to get to this is insane. You guys are, so we'll make sure that Zach and Maggie and Aunt Grass and Elias know that you guys are throwing some props out. We got another, isn't this just like Descenders? Yeah, it doesn't play that way, and everything that you see visually is just placeholder at this point because we're still making a prototype. So hang with us a little bit. I think eventually maybe you'll feel like that is not the case.
The short version is this is a lot more grounded and responsive than Descenders. Descenders is a lot slipperier, arcadey. This is kind of meant to be a little more focused on downhill racing, kind of simulating what downhill racing's like. It's gonna have an open mountain environment. not procedurally generated kind of career mode like they have. So there'll be a lot of differences, but the biggest one will be the game feel. I don't think Descenders does tech very well, in my opinion. I feel like I just slide around everywhere when I'm doing tech stuff there. So we're really focusing on like trying to make tech good, make racing good, things like that.
CLBR over on YouTube. Hey man, or hey person, I'm guessing dude, says, is everyone involved with their own money, or do you guys finance this and pay the rest of the team? We there are 4 founders of the company. Joe, who's on the call now, me, Tobias, who was the original, the guy who invented Mad Skills Motocross way back in the day. I've known him for a long time. He's an awesome human being. He's the majority owner of Turbarilla, which makes Mad Skills Motocross and BMX and all those games. And he's one of the 3 people. And then this guy Fish, Mike Fisher, who I worked with at Racer X, the motorcycle racing magazine. That's how I got to know Fish. Hired him when he was 16, and he's just one of the best, most effective people I've ever known. So the 4 of us found as much money as we could find on our own, and we self-funded it. We haven't financed anything. None of us took out any kind of a loan. There's nobody else with a stake in the game. It's just the 4 of us. And we're starting not a massive runway. We did the best that we could. 4 people. We're gonna we've started the Patreon to try to kind of help us keep it moving forward. That's what the point of that. So definitely very much an indie self-funded effort. Thanks for the question.
I see Bend Over. Bend Over wants to know, is there free roam? Yeah, dude, you could already free roam. So this is the big open mountain map we have. And, at the start of any trailhead, you can initiate a race, or you can just not initiate the race and you can just cruise down it like I'm doing now. And you can go wherever you want. You can go off trail. Like, you want to go off trail, you can go off trail. Do whatever you want. So the plan is that this will be a huge open mountain environment, 40-ish trails, maybe more, maybe less, something around there. And there'll be lifts at the bottom you could take up. You could choose to ride the lift if you want, or you can just skip the animation and not ride it. There'll be a bike shop. You can go to the bike shop and upgrade your kit. You could hop in with your buddies and do some trains down some trails. It's up to you, man. Whatever you want to do, you can do. There'll be rivers. This is a riverbed. Oh man, see the slidey physics? You can like feel it, but it's not that slidey. So yeah, free roam is, we want like 50. I've always been saying 50% of this game is about racing, 50% should be about free roam, Easter eggs, finding secret areas, achievements, unlocking things, finding hidden gaps, like all that kind of stuff.
Phoebe, we know very much about MX bikes, for sure. Joe's played a lot of MX bikes. I come from the motocross world. I've known about that game for years. So yeah, we are well aware of that awesome game. The physics in that game are awesome. It's very complicated. It's not easy to play, but it's super impressive. I think the physics engine those guys made is awesome. Nick's back. Our buddy Nick. What's up, man?
Back from Japan, dude. How was your trip? Looked good. I saw some of your posts.
Congrats on the frameworks announcement, he says, which I'm pumped about. Joe, what's your third question, dude? We got 2 more. You have another one, and I have another. We're going to get through them all today.
Yeah, and I couldn't think of a good way to word this, but I think I can explain what I mean. And it is kind of like, what philosophy or principle has like helped kind of guide you through life? Like, what is one thing you come back to and think about all the time, or a reminder that's like, oh yeah, okay, I gotta do it like that, or something that your whole life you've kind of had in the back of your head, and it kind of a little bit of an encouragement or something that helps you get through things, or just whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I do. I had. I don't know. I think the most long-standing principle that I've had since I was a kid, I'm just built this way, was to try to be kind to people. It's not exactly a principle of like a guiding light or anything, because it's just kind of how I'm built, but it's always been important to me, and I've always been moved by other people who show kindness to people. I think the world could use a lot more kindness. I think, people who inject kindness into the world make it a better place in general. I think it's a good leadership principle. I think showing kindness when you lead is a way to build trust and to make people feel safe and like they want to. I get choked up talking about this a little bit. But that's what I would just say is that, trying to bring kindness to like everything that I do if I can.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to the way that I raised my kids. I was always really careful to, be honest with them and to guide them, but always to support who they wanted to be. Like to just insist that they figure out who they are, what they want in life, and they do that unapologetically. They don't try to like live up to what I think they're supposed to do or their mom thought they were supposed to do. My ex-wife always had the same philosophy, so it was easy for us. So I would just say, I think being kind to people in general, no matter who they are, the circumstance is kind of my guiding principle of my life, I would say.
Nice.
But I don't try. I think it's just how I'm built.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And I would say you've always been that way with me, and I've always seen you be that way. Probably part of the reason we're such good friends, honestly.
How about you? What's your guiding principle?
Ever since I was a little kid, I think it's probably something, maybe the one good thing I took away from my dad, but never giving up. Like I just, I'm stubborn. I don't give up. If there's something I want or something I want to achieve or whatever, I'm going to grind at it and go at it until I get it where I want it. I'm not the kind to give up. I'm, always just kind of working at it, chipping away, always making progress, learning that failures are a good thing. You learn from failures. Can't do anything great without failing a bunch of times first. So I think that's my thing, is just like, accepting failure and never giving up and knowing that you can always do more. Like especially physically, like in the Army taught me, your mind is way more powerful than your body, and you can do way more than you think you can. So that's kind of my thing, and that's gonna come into Crank too. Like I'm not gonna give up on this thing until it's where we all want it to be.
I've always seen that part of you as well, Joe. You've always been a determined person. Another strength you have is I've never one time, how long have we known each other now?
13 years, something like that, yeah.
There's never been a time since I've known you where I thought you were floating me a line of bullshit. Never once.
Same.
I always knew you were talking to me with honesty and saying what you really felt. There was never been anything that was, you putting on airs or pretending like you're somebody you're not. That's a good strength, dude. You've always been like that.
Thank you. I see. I'm going to go back to chat now. Our free control whips. Yeah. So let me show you some examples. First, I'll show you what the left stick does. Here's left. So left stick, left and right will spin. Left stick, forward and back will do flips. And then here's the right stick, left and right, kind of leans it. And forward and back on the right stick tucks the bike up to you or extends the bike, kind of as the pumping mechanic, but it also becomes useful for flips. Like if you tuck, you'll flip faster. Like here's an example. Not tucked, see it speeds up. So what you do is you combine both the sticks together to create whips and scrubs and all those kind of things. So let me get to a jump here where I can kind of boost and, there's a little whip for you. The camera needs to be fixed so it doesn't follow the bike as much, because it kind of makes it not look as much like a whip when it does that. But yeah, everything is free physics. You can spin, flip, whip, scrub, however you want, but no canned animations. It's all with the two sticks and how you use them.
Jack, no chance probably for a prototype build on Xbox or PlayStation.
I don't think so. I don't even know how that stuff works. I think you have to have like developer, you have to like apply for these special versions of consoles that you can develop on, and it's pretty restricted. It's the platforms don't really let you kind of do that stuff, as far as I know. So most likely not.
It'd be cool though. I mean, it'd be nice to just so people who are more console gamers or don't feel like they have a computer that can run it would have the option. It'd be cool if we could do that. Is the game out? It's a prototype that's available to anybody who supports us on Patreon. So if you check out you're on TikTok now. If you check out our Cranked game bio, you'll see a link to our Patreon. You can check it out. I'm gonna play it. Trenton says the physics and controls remind him of MX bikes. That always makes we always take that as a huge compliment. The game's not nearly as complicated to play. This game is designed to be accessible the first time you play it. We had Joe came to Pittsburgh to go to the Pittsburgh Supercross with me a couple months ago, and we had some friends of ours who have a bike shop, and some other guys came up for a little pre-race party, and everybody who played the prototype was able to just sit down and play right away. So it's definitely a lot more accessible than MX bikes, but we consider it a compliment when people say it reminds them, for sure. That game blows my mind. Joe knows. What I said, I haven't played it. I have a PC. I don't have a PC that can run it. But when I watch good players play MX bikes and I see the way that dirt bike moves, I'm very impressed with what that guy did. Very impressed.
Yep. I'm seeing more Descenders comments, so we'll answer that. I feel like every 5 minutes we just need to answer the Descenders comment. What makes it different? The feel is going to be the big thing. I've been riding bikes like 20 years, maybe more. And Descenders just didn't give me the feelings that I get when I'm on a real bike. I think it's a great game. I love it. I played a bunch of it. But to me, the feeling doesn't transfer directly to real riding. It's a little too slippery. It's out of control. It's kind of wild and crazy at times. And I wanted something more grounded, a little more on the realistic side while still being accessible and more focused on kind of racing, first-person view, things like that. So the big difference is going to be the way it feels in the physics. Other differences are, like the core game loop is completely different. They've got that procedurally generated thing. You're trying to find the boss jump and complete that and get to the 4 different biomes. Ours is going to be an open mountain environment. You kind of explore and kind of do whatever you want. You can race if you want. You could go do challenges if you want. You could just free ride with your friends. It's kind of up to you how you want to play. So that part's different. Heavy emphasis on racing and the kind of style of racing of downhill where it's like time attack. They came out the racing mode, but it's still nothing like that. It's more about racing with your friends. You can't even race single player as far as I know. So those are kind of the differences in a nutshell. Visually, it'll look different later. We haven't gotten into the art style of things yet. We both use Unity, which is why these games look very, very similar, because they both use Unity. Most mod maps are probably just like Unity Descenders or Unity assets anyway, so that's why they look so similar right now.
Thanks for that question, Harry. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming by. And sometimes I see emojis for usernames. So, guys, I don't know how to refer to you if I don't know how to read your name because I'm old. And it's possible that a younger person than I would see the emojis and know what to say, but I do not. But I will take, holy shit, this game is going to be so good as a very big compliment. Thank you. Thank you so much. Are you guys going to, and the same person asked if we're going to release it on Steam. Got another question about Steam. Yeah, this game will be on Steam. Right now it's on Patreon. We had to get our company set up officially. Like we've said before, I know a lot of you all just dropped in, but we've only been doing this for 4 months. This is a prototype at this point. We're just getting started. So even the construction of our company, Session Syndicate, took us a little bit of time to get kicking. It's based in Sweden, and they shut down for the summer. Tess, you know what I'm talking about? So we had to wait for some paperwork to go through to kind of make the company official. But we're getting the Steam stuff rolling. And Joe, do you have any idea when the game will actually be available on Steam, or is that too far out?
The Steam page should be up probably within the next month, so you'll be able to wish list it within the next month, probably sooner. But as far as anything on Steam that you could like buy or play, that probably won't be for a while. I do want to do a free demo at some point. We need to wait till things are a little further along, a little better. I want to get the bike model, the rider model, third person, like some of the basics that you guys really want to see need to be in the game before we do a free demo. But yeah, should be able to wish list it in a month. I hope in 6 months or so we have a free demo up there, and I hope then maybe a year from now we're in early access on Steam. Something like that. Those are good goals. I don't know if we'll reach those goals, but those are kind of goals I have in my head.
Nice. Joe, I'm going to ask my third question. I think we're caught up on, I think we're mostly caught. A couple more Descenders comments. Guys, sometimes we don't get to the Descenders comments very quickly. We don't mean to not do that. But people kind of come in throughout the course of the stream, and we hear it so many times, and it's almost like we would spend the whole show talking about that. Maybe we'll wait a couple more minutes if you hang out with us. Rocket Man asked us, is this Descenders 2? And JXCTTY asked about it. If there's anybody in TikTok comments who played Cranked and wants to take that up, we'll hand it off on you guys. We don't mean to not answer the question, but we kind of have to answer other questions and do other things on the show occasionally. It does say something that we get that so much. It makes me excited for when we actually have our own art in the game, distinctly like Crank. That's going to be much better at that point. But my final question in our little Q&A, Joe, which I thought was fun, was what is your proudest career moment so far in gaming? What's your proudest? Well, it doesn't even have to be in gaming. Your proudest career moment in general so far.
Wow, that's a good one. Huh. Wow. I got to think about that for a little bit. Do you have your answer? Or do you want me to answer it? Wait and answer it first.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I think you and I are probably always going to have our own answer to the questions that we come up with because we have more time to think about them. You know, we came up with them. So.
I mean, it's this, dude. It's Cranked, man. Like I know we're just getting started, but this is a dream come true. It's finally happening. You know, my friends and coworkers that I've worked with, you know, trust me, and then we found a way to make this thing happen together. We're bootstrapping it. You know, we don't have big companies that wanted to fund it, so we had to figure out a way to do it ourselves. We made it happen. And we made it something that's extremely fun, in just a matter of weeks. And now we're going to build on it. And it's been fun getting the community involved and just building this together with, you know, my best friends, especially you, Brian. This is the most fun I've been having making games. This is the proudest I've been of something. And it's cool to finally kind of like be in the driver's seat and be the game director. You know, I've been lead game designer on other projects, but I never felt like it was from start to finish. And this will be the first one that's kind of like start to finish. So it's this, you know, and like you said earlier, I'm excited to see what the end product looks like, but I think the journey is going to be more fun. So I want to enjoy the journey while it's here. I don't want to rush it. Just have fun and get involved with the community and make this thing the best we possibly can.
Agree, Tess. Joe's an awesome leader. He's honest and he's kind to people and he's clear and he is good at describing what is on his mind. Really good at finding good YouTube videos to share with Zach and Maggie so they understand where he's coming from. I agree. He's an awesome leader, natural born leader. 100% agree. We got another question here.
Oh, I was going to try to manual the backflip, but didn't work out.
Travis says, would you ever consider going on YouTube? Hey, Travis, would you ever consider going more toward the MX Bikes details physics for this game? Or are you trying to keep it more as a casual experience?
Well, I don't think it's either or those things. So I wouldn't say that I want it to be as hardcore as MX Bikes, but I also don't want it to be an extremely casual experience. I think there's a mix. I personally think MX Bikes is a little bit too hard. Just like, I don't think that learning curve needs to be there. I honestly thought learning to ride a dirt bike in real life was easier. I love MX Bikes and I think it's amazing. And for a dirt bike game, the physics are incredible. And when I'm on a good lap or something, it is amazing. But I wish it was easier for me to get on a good lap. I don't have, you know, I'm an adult now with responsibilities. I don't have 1,000 hours to dump into MX Bikes to get super good at it. I just don't. You know, so what I told Zach even was like, let's make a mountain bike game that feels kind of like MX Bikes, but take away the crazy learning curve and just make it feel like you're a pro at MX Bikes. That's kind of the vibe we're going for is accessible game that kind of makes you feel like a pro right off the bat. But there still needs to be a huge skill gap, and there is a huge skill gap. Tails right now is probably the best player in the game. And I mean, you could see, well, Sutton right now is beating him. So
Sutton's fast too. I mean, yeah.
But you could see, I've played this. I probably have more hours in this game than anyone, and they're beating me by 10 seconds. So there's the skill gap for you.
And if you know what we did with Mad Skills Motocross, you know that we're all about skill gap. That's just everything we've ever done has been like that. So I don't think we could make a game that's not like that. It's one of the things that makes free-to-play difficult for people like me and Joe, because it's hard to make a good free-to-play game if you don't sell competitive advantage. It's very difficult to do that. It's possible, but it's not easy, and it's hard. It's certainly hard to do it without compromising the way we like to make games and what we want to do. So it's Turborilla, I think, has done a great job of it. I think that they've figured out a way to make a company work with while still having a competitive game.
I think the key for me in a game like this is that the basics should be very easy to pick up. Like I should be able to hand this to anyone who's, you know, remotely good at a controller or playing any game and say, hey, look, here's pedal, here's brake, here's how you steer, go. And they should be able to get down the hill, the mountain, first try, no issues. The hard part comes when you start adding in, okay, now you can add in the second stick and you can do this and you can lean and you can pump and you can, you know, all these other little mechanics that'll make you go faster. That's where the skill gap comes in. So I think it should be easy to pick up, but incredibly hard to master, to where every time you play, you're like, okay, I got a little better. There's more room for improvement. You should never feel like you hit the perfect run. There's always something more. So I think that's the key to a good game is anyone can pick it up and have fun immediately. Within the first 5 minutes, you're having fun. But, you know, you feel the grind and you know there's always something better you can do. There's something more you could learn. And when you look at the leaderboard, you're like, how are these people going so fast? Like, I don't get it. And then that's when you become curious and you're like, okay, I got to figure this out. What am I doing wrong? How can I get a bit faster? And then it starts clicking and one thing leads to another. And that's where the addicting part of this comes in. So that's the goal for Cranked. Easy to pick up, hard to master. Hey, we don't even have Steam keys. So the guy who keeps asking over and over, spamming the chat, we don't have Steam. It's not even on Steam. So the answer is no, you can't have a Steam key. Sorry.
But I like the enthusiasm. I mean, I want you to be able to play it for sure. If you could get it on Patreon and it's just $5 and you get this build and every other build we do for the next month, you get to keep them. And we think the framework spike is going to be in the game in the next month, so you'll have a build that, you know, will be developed further. I mean, if you see how much ground Zach and Maggie made up in 8 days since they've been back and built this. I mean, these guys are not messing around. They know how to prioritize. They know what they're trying to build. They listen to the community on Discord and Patreon. It really informs the decisions they make. I mean, there are all kinds of things that are on the roadmap that came directly from people who are playing the prototype. All kinds of things.
I mean, there's things in this update that came from people playing the prototype. Yeah. Like Jack said, make it so when you tuck in a flip, you spin faster. So we're like, oh, that sounds cool. Let's do it. Now it's in the game.
And it made it better. Tess, thank you for coming by.
Thank you, Tess.
I miss you very much. Much.
Yeah, I need to message you and we need to chat.
Hey Tess, let's do a me, you, and Joe catch up sometime in the next week or so. Let's do a video chat. If you're still with us, hopefully you heard that. If not, I'll reach out to you this week.
Ooh, little sketch on that flip.
I'll answer my last question, Joe, and we will have gotten through that segment successfully. I would say the proudest I've been. I mean, I was always proud of what we did at Racer X. I mean, that was started working there and it was an underground zine and we turned that into a significant thing. I always loved it. Had such a good time working with the crew there, and we worked so hard at it. But I think the single proudest thing ever probably was just like when I saw Mad Skills Motocross and saw what it could be, and was just like, well, I think I'm the person who can, reach out to this guy from Sweden who I didn't know, and I had enough confidence to say I can make this thing work. I think if we partner, we can really do something special with this game. And I feel like I saw it. I kind of saw what it could be on mobile first, is what it felt like to me, and I've always been very proud of that. Resulted in, a couple 100 million people played Mad Skills games, and a lot of people got cool jobs as a result of it. So I'm pretty proud that worked out well.
I figured that'd be your answer. It's a good answer.
I have a lot of love for Mad Skills.
Me too. One of my favorite games of all time.
Specs said is in the UK, and Racer X reached him in a big way. Very cool, Specs. When I started at Racer X, I was in the mailroom, and we were a newspaper, and my first job was working in the dark room, developing film, and folding the magazine when it was still a newspaper and sticking it in envelopes, then into bike shops. That's how I started at Racer X. Way back in the day. That was in 1998. I made the first Racer X website. I set up the first Racer X social media accounts. I was always doing that tech stuff at Racer X. I loved it. I was a kid from West Virginia. I could have been mining coal. Instead, I was working in a motocross magazine. I mean, that was pretty cool. We got that chance. Transcend Shelby, your total hours in Mad Skills Motocross 2 and 3. Can't imagine. Because you don't get as good as you are at those games without that many hours. That's the thing. You can't just pick up Mad Skills and all of a sudden compete. It's not possible. There's no way. It'd be like thinking you can hop on a real dirt bike and get on a motocross track and all of a sudden compete with the fastest people. You just can't do it. It's not possible. Cool, Joe. I like the 3 questions thing. I think I like when we do questions that that the people who are hanging out with us can answer too. That was fun, I thought.
Yeah, I do too. We're about to get a better time here, so that's exciting. There we go. Got a new personal best. Let's see where we're at. Up to 4th. Coming for you, Captain Jax. Coming for you.
Hey, Carter, thanks for coming. When's it released? It's already available as this prototype that you're seeing right now. You can get it if you support us on our Patreon. We don't know when it's going to be out publicly. We're only 4 months into this project, so we are in the beginning stages. That said, we are focused. We know what we're trying to build, and we have a dream team together. So it is going to be our attempt to make the best possible game we can with efficiency and with meaning. That's what we're going for. So hopefully it doesn't take all that long. But it's not going to be anytime soon that we release it. It'll probably go into some sort of early access first, but even that is a good ways out.
I see. I guess we're at the 5-minute mark where we need to do another Descenders response. Slapmit Ultimate. I was asking, these look extremely comparable, this and Descenders, and I'd like to hear the game dev name their case. Yeah, we keep talking about this because people keep asking. The short version is this is a prototype. We've been at it for about 4 months now. Most of the stuff is just Unity assets because we've been dialing in the physics and the way the game feels. So that's why it looks a lot similar, because both of our games are mountain bike games made in the same game engine called Unity. So art-wise, we haven't had time to work on that stuff yet. Once we do, they won't visually look anything alike because we're going for a much more stylized, artistic kind of approach. But in terms of game feel, they're completely different. Cranked is more grounded, more responsive. You feel like you have more control than you do in Descenders. Descenders is very slippery. It feels honestly like I'm on ice most of the time. I also don't feel like Descenders does a great job with tech stuff. And that's kind of the difference here. And we also have a heavy emphasis on racing, and this style of racing you see here, which is like downhill style, where you kind of time attack, quick restarts back to the top. We've got global leaderboards in the game. So, it's kind of a Trackmania for mountain bikes, if you will, which is quite different than Descenders. Also be like an open mountain environment you can explore, which Descenders is, the procedurally generated career mode. So there's quite a bit of differences, but the biggest ones is going to be the physics and the way it feels. And once we're done with the game, visually they will look quite different.
When will there be new trails in the game? We just released new trails today.
Yeah. And Cedric's always working on the trail, so every time we have a new update, there will be either new trails completed or new parts of trails. Like here, let me go show you. This is the newest trail that Cedric's working on. It's a work in progress, but this will be another. This is more meant to be like proper downhill style race trail. So I'll show you this. It's very short right now, but we've got he'll take it all the way to the bottom. A lot of tech stuff, roots and rocks. You really got to pick your line, choose your lines carefully. Try to get in between the rocks with that front tire. You got to be careful here because you can die. Yeah,
Nick, man. The degree to which I know Wes and Brent, I mean, ask those guys about me sometime. I know Wes and Brent from Verb Moto very, very well. Wes and I especially go back to when he was basically a kid. I mean, we hired him to do the Racer X Motocross show originally, way back in the day. Super talented guy, Wes is. I mean, his video editing skills, done a lot of work with Red Bull. Verb was always so stylish and love Wes. And I know Brent and his brother Chase. Chase worked for me at Racer X for many years, so I know that whole crew at Verb very, very well. Joe and I went down to their race a couple years ago in outside of Greenville, South Carolina, and hung out with them. I just talked to Brent 2 days ago, actually. He and I had a call 2 days ago. Know him quite well.
So yeah, that was the new track.
Yeah, Elliot, we're not sure what it'll cost when it releases because it's early. It's a prototype. We're 23. We are our Z. I think that says we're building it in Unity. That's what we made all the Mad Skills games in. It's what we're the best at. and it's the way that Zach felt like he could make the physics that were in his head the best. So we're making it in Unity. You can get the game earlier just through Patreon, like we said. If you kind of go to patreon.com and search for Cranked game, you'll find us there, and that's how you can get the game. You can get it right now. It's available now. The playing right now went out to everybody who supports us on Patreon with a paid membership, and you get it even if you only do the $5 a month membership, and you get to keep any build that you get during that month forever. Also, if you support us on Patreon and you accumulate $50 of support for us over time or immediately at all, if you spend $50, you get a key for the game when it's released, the final game when it's released. So that kind of answers that stuff, but we don't know what the cost will be. Thank you, Levi, for boosting the server. Joe will catch up with you over on.
Yeah, dude. Once the stream's over, I'll hit you up and get you a code.
Blakey, we want it to be on Xbox eventually, definitely. That's the plan. We're starting with PC. We have a philosophy that we want to focus on the right thing at the right time and not try to do too much. Do the most important thing and do it right, and do it as well as we can, and then kind of move on from there. So we want to get it right on PC first, and then once we feel like we have the game, we want to get it on console for sure. A lot of people have asked about VR and mobile. None of that was stuff that we were planning. We're not like shutting the door on anything. We weren't planning that stuff. But the more we hear that stuff, the more it makes us think about maybe thinking that way in the future. So you never know.
I think VR is more likely than mobile. Mobile, I don't know how you'd play this on a touch device. If it was like a mobile controller only game, maybe. But there's just too many controls to put it on mobile. We'd have to do a bunch of assisting, and then it would dumb down the controls, and it would basically be a totally different game.
Yeah, we've got some more people. We appreciate you guys stopping by. James, Ollie, you guys have mentioned the Descenders thing. The only problem with us responding to that is we have people pop into this a lot, and we just don't want the whole thing to be us talking about that. I'll just kind of say one more time. Everything that you see, this is only 4 months in the making. The graphics, the bike, it's all placeholder. We're focusing on physics first. If you play this, the physics are not like Descenders. It's more grounded. It's not as slippery. It just feels really, really different. And we have a way different vision of the game. Joe has played so much Descenders in his life. He knows what it's all about. Making this game is in part because it just wasn't really what he was looking for in a game. Trying to make a game that actually feels like it feels when he rides. I've played Descenders. Joe's played a bunch of Descenders. It doesn't feel like riding for real to us. This game is more like that, so that's what we're going for. But because we build it in Unity and the graphics are all placeholder, I think that's and it's a mountain bike game. We think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people think that, but we just don't really get that very much from people who actually have played the prototype. It's just such a different thing. That's how I would answer that. Brian, how do I pronounce my name? I pronounce it Brian, exactly like that. Brian.
Another reason it might look similar to Descenders is because our level designer was literally a big Descenders modder. His name's Ankras, Cedric.
Yep.
So if you played his mod maps, they're going to look similar because he made them in Descenders and he's making them here the same way he made them there. So that'll also make things look similar. But once Maggie, our artist, gets in here and starts decorating stuff and making it look different, it'll have its own visual identity at the end of the day.
Yeah, what I would say is if you guys are interested in it, I mean, Patreon, $5 a month, it's really not that much, and you'll get this build right now. For sure, you're going to get $5 worth out of it. I mean, this game is so much fun already. I think it's easy to get that value out of it, and you'll get any other build that we make in the next month, and you get to keep them forever. I mean, $5. So, if you're interested and you want to give it a shot, I would love to know if you think if it feels like Descenders when you first see it. I would love to know how you feel when you actually play it. So if any of you guys do try that, let us know on Patreon or Discord how you're feeling once you actually play it.
The best compliments we get, and we've heard this from multiple people. I mean, if you join our Patreon and look at the chat, you'll see people in there saying this to us. But the best compliment we get, and that makes me, happy to hear, is when people say, this is the first mountain bike game they've played that actually to them feels like it feels to ride a real bike. Like we've heard that multiple times. Like, hey, played all the mountain bike games. This is the first one I played where it makes me feel like I'm on a real bike. It reminds me of being on a real bike, and that was our goal from the start. And the fact that we've heard that from countless people, just lets us know that we're kind of on the right path. So that's our goal. It's all about the way it feels. Trying to make it feel intuitive and fun and flowy, just like when you're kind of dialed in on your real bike, ride around.
Joey says on YouTube, he says maybe you can create a short summary you can paste in the chat when people ask you. You don't have to answer it every 3 minutes. I understand why people who ask it, but go ahead, Joe.
What we should do is there's bots where if someone types the word Descenders, it can auto respond and just give them a canned response. We should just put that in there.
Well, we could. I get what I mean. I'm glad people are engaging. You know what I mean? It's like if somebody just pops in, they don't know. But I also worry about people like Joey and other folks who hang out with us in here for 2 or 3 hours. It's got to get boring listening to us say the same thing over and over again. It's got to be boring. And I don't want to bore people who are hanging out with us for all that time. So let's talk about that in between this and the next stream, Joe, and see if we can come up with something better. I don't want to like invalidate what people are feeling or make it feel impersonal, but also we kind of have to talk about other stuff occasionally.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when we change the way it looks, that'll go away a little bit.
I mean, what we're doing here, what you're seeing, you can't do in Descenders, as far as I know. Maybe there's some mod out there, but as far as I know, you can't go time attack a trail downhill style and have a global leaderboard with everyone who's played the game. So, I mean, that alone is already different, and that's kind of what some of the addicting appeal of Cranked is this. It's just grinding times and racing your friends and bragging about leaderboard spots and all that.
Yeah.
Descenders is definitely more freestyle based, so if you're into tricks and freestyle stuff, that's probably where you want to be. If you're into racing and exploration, you probably want to be here. But I just think it's nice to have options. Look how many first-person shooters we have. I'm a big first-person shooter player. I love that we've got thousands of options of first-person shooters. We've got like 4 options for mountain bike games. So, as of like this, the last few years, before Riders Republic, what was it? Descenders? Like that's all we had. Then we got Riders Republic. Now we got Mavericks and Crank too. So, it's nice. Plus you get like mountain bike mods and MX bikes and Track Day R, and so at least the mountain bike community has options now, and that's what I think is cool. I think all the games are good, and they all will appeal to different types of players, and just same with other genres of gaming.
A couple questions about dual slalom. Nick and Specs both are wondering, will we have dual slalom tracks where pumping becomes a major mechanic to gain speed and keep momentum?
I'd love to have that. I'd also love to have speed and style. So yeah, I think that would be sick. It's not like something that's like it's set in stone in the roadmap, but we've mentioned it and talked about it, and I think something like that would be perfect for this game.
I saw somebody ask a question earlier if we would take inspiration from Mavericks. No, we won't.
I'll tell you the games that we take the most inspiration from for Cranked. I think when it comes to physics and like especially air physics and free whips and all that stuff, MX bikes is a big one. MX versus ATV reflex. When it comes to if we get to the point where we put in tricks, like proper tricks like Supermans and turn downs and cans and all that stuff, I love everything Adam Hunt does with Yeah Us. Street Dog BMX and Pumped BMX and all those games take a lot of inspiration from him and the way his tricks work, because I think they're intuitive and they look good, they feel good. Also BMX Streets has really nice tricks, very flowy and like just it looks super steezy. Also Shredders, the snowboarding game, I think they look very realistic at times, and like the style in that's really good. What other games? As far as racing goes, Trackmania is a big inspiration. Like this is kind of similar to Trackmania style, where it's like time attack, quick restarts. Also Mad Skills though. Mad Skills has always kind of had that Trackmania vibe. What were you gonna say, Brian?
I was gonna respond to the question: will we have unlockable bikes and clothes in the game? The answer is yes. And in fact, earlier I mentioned that we're starting a new thing called Cranked Collabs, where we're going to collaborate with different brands and companies, bike shops, musicians, record labels, maybe, Joe. Really anybody who's building cool stuff and is into what we're doing. We're going to collab with them starting next week. We're going to announce a week. I don't know how often it'll be, but next week we're going to show the first in-game T-shirt that you can unlock for free just by hanging out with us on the live stream. We're going to give a code next week in the game, and that code will allow you to reserve the first shirt, which is a shirt based on Rad Dog, an awesome bike shop in El Paso, Texas. One of Joe's best friends, a guy I'm getting to know, and he just cracks me up all the time. I can't wait to meet him in person. I'm going to go there in October and get to meet Richie in person for the first time. But next week, we'll show the shirt that you can unlock in the game. All you need to do is get the code from the game. You'll have like 48 hours or 72 hours or so to redeem the code. And then at which point, we don't have customization in the game right now, so you won't be able to play with that shirt in the game immediately, but you will have reserved it. And it's the only way you can get it. So this first Rad Dog shirt you can get next week in the live stream, and it'll never be available again, and it'll be totally free. So yeah, we will have that stuff. Hope you come back next week, get your code, get that first shirt, and then we'll see. You know, we're hoping that we'll have some other cool companies that want to work with us. If y'all know people who you think would be fun to collab with, please come over to our Discord and just ping me and let me know. I'm going to manage all that stuff so Joe doesn't have to do it. And then, of course, when the game comes out later, we'll have all cool customization for sure. It's not going to affect the bike. We don't want to get to where we're tuning the bike, but we're going to make it to where you can make yourself, you know, you can have an individual look that allows you to express who you are. I would say. Yeah. Shelby says, shedders? Is he talking about? Oh, yeah.
Shredders.
He's talking about shredders. Yeah. Aesthetically appealing.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Too.
But the other kind of goal with Cranked is, you know, I think with any game like MX Bikes or, you know, even Shredder, like a lot of these games where you, BMX Streets, where it's kind of like a free physics based, player styles come through in their gameplay. And that's another thing we want. Like, you know, with physics-based games where you're in total control and it's not canned animations, it's easy for the, you know, the player style to come through, and I think that's what's fun. So what you're seeing now is my style, but if you watch someone else play this game, you know, they have a totally different style and it's going to look different. So that's an important part for us too, is that, you know, you can, not only can you express your style in the customization, but in also how you ride. I haven't done a front flip yet. Let's try that. Oh wait, I didn't tuck. Whoops.
Nick's talking about nighttime riding with lights and stuff. Yeah, we thought about that, and we've talked about it for sure. Joe had an interesting idea at one point about tying XP to the passing of days, which would have involved some twilight riding and some stuff. So it's a meta thing that we kind of would put as not super high priority right now, because we're focusing on the core physics and the things that really are going to make or break the game. But it's fun to think about those future meta elements as well.
Trying to find some gaps here. Well, but Maggie, I know, is excited to get into the weeds with all that stuff, like you know, lighting differences and day and night and weather and fog, and Maggie's like excited to do all that stuff. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have a bunch of that, because kind of just giving Maggie the freedom to do what she wants and make things kind of what excites her. So, you know, if all of a sudden she wants to throw some fog in the morning or whatever, then, you know, have at it.
Panda says, do you think we would be able to collab with music artists or bands for in-game cosmetics? And the answer is yeah. I would like to find some bands. You know, our friend from the Racked Records from the UK was on here earlier. I was bands on his label, but I've got so many friends who are in bands. It'd be cool to find bands that are kind of up and coming, but have a little bit of juice going. You know, they've got a little bit of an audience and they're active on social media and stuff, but also into action sports, mountain bike, and want to collab and do something as part of this Crank collab idea or later for sure. Yeah, I love it.
I saw a comment asking if we had...
Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Just real quick, if we had tech trails, so I was going to run down this start of this trail right now. That's more techy, and then I'll do another one after this.
Go for it.
This thing's fun.
Tech trails, for sure. Tech trails.
Braking bumps right there, slow you down.
What's up, Eli? MTB. The only bike we know for sure is going to be in the game is the collaboration we announced last week, which is Frameworks. Their downhill bike, their just rad downhill bike, is going to be our first bike in the game. Our artist Maggie's already working on it. That's like the epitome of the type of brand we like to partner with. Other people who have an idea that they believe in and they're hustling and just doing everything they can to make something meaningful to people. Perfect type of a brand that we want to collaborate with. So yeah, bikes for sure. We're starting with Frameworks. We don't know for sure beyond that. That's the only real world brand, as far as bikes are concerned, that we've worked with so far.
Here's our other tech trail. This is a new trail as of today, at least for the racing side of it. Ignore the visuals because this map hasn't been touched by Maggie yet, but you can see a little more tech stuff. We got some like North Shore style stuff on here.
Jake, thanks for answering questions in the chat for us, man. Very much appreciate that. Very helpful.
Eventually we'll have different terrain. Like right now I'm on gravel. Eventually gravel will feel different than dirt, which will feel different than grass and loam and all that kind of stuff. So little spin out of this thing. More tech stuff right here. Got to choose your line carefully.
Hey Joey, if you think about it, remind me about Cam and Dusty's band on Discord. I'll make a note about it, but I might forget.
Skipped a marker. That's why it said track filled. Yeah, I'll remind you. Got to be careful going into that chute right there. It's pretty narrow. Little step up. And then this kind of tech trail ends with a bunch of jumps. We might tweak this bottom part. Oh, game crashed. Pre-alpha, man. Some bugs.
Yeah, pre-alpha. ZIZI28 says, once you find hidden trails, can you make it so you can unlock the hidden trail in the leaderboard so you can fast travel to the trail so you don't have to find it again?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
Pretty good idea.
Yeah, for sure. I'm into that.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's hidden, and then when you find it, boom, it appears. Now you can fast travel. I like it.
Like it. Good idea, man. You need me to do anything to make sure we remember that, Joe?
The best thing you can do if you want us to remember things and actually put it in, I'm pretty good at it, honestly. Like I already know that some guy sent me a picture months ago of his dad who passed away, and he wants that put into the game as an Easter egg, and I'm going to put it in the game, and I promised him that I will, and I won't forget that.
Nice.
But if you really want to make sure things don't get forgotten, if you go to our Discord, we have a feedback channel. If you type in like /feedback and then start typing your feedback, a pop-up will come up. You fill out the form, and then people in Discord can see what you did. They can vote on it, and all that goes into our backlog system. And then other people can vote, and we could see like what are people most excited about, and then we'll start prioritizing that stuff. There is a Discord link in the bio. There's probably, I think on TikTok we have the link tree, so click on the link tree, and then within the link tree is a Discord link. There should be, at least there was at one point. Yeah.
Mason, how much? It's currently a prototype. We're pre-alpha. We've been working on it for about 4 months. The way that you can play it right now is by supporting us on Patreon. If you even get the lowest membership there, it's $5 for a month, and you'll get every build that we make that month, and you'll get to keep every build that we make that. So the one Joe's playing right now, we released to Patreon members today. We'll definitely have more builds this month. We're pretty prolific. These guys move fast, man. So you can count on this game exists after 4 months, so that gives you an idea how determined we are, how fast we move. It's because we're focused and we know what we're doing, and we have the right team is the reason that we're able to move quickly. But really what that means is even 1 month of subscribing on Patreon means you're going to get the value for that. You're going to get multiple builds with lots of changes. And as you heard from what Joe just said, we listen, man. We're trying to make the best game we can, and if people have good ideas, we don't care whose idea it is. We'll give credit if it's somebody else's idea, and we're grateful, but we're 100% down with other people giving us the best ideas in the game or improving on our ideas. Doesn't matter to us. We want to make a good game regardless of who comes up with it. So that is my pitch. This is one of the best jumps in the game.
So good right there.
That right there is one of the 2 best jumps in the game.
Right into
that
the berm.
One and that little that little hook launch
Oh, yeah,
rocket
on Fika.
catapult thing on Fika break. Those are the two
Mhm.
best jumps in the game, in my opinion.
Ooh, sloppy through there, but we survived.
Agreed, Harpy. I think that's great. I'm not surprised Joe's doing that for the persons whose father passed away, but for somebody to reach out to you and ask for that, Joe, it's obviously very meaningful to them.
Yeah, and
And I would be
it's a
shocked
picture I
if you
think
did
of.
anything other than say, "Yeah, we'll do it." I would be like, "Well, this is not the Joe I know. I
Yeah,
know that you would say it."
I think it's a picture. If I remember correctly, it's like a picture of his dad on a bike on top of a mountain, maybe with his son too. But the kid said him and his dad used to ride all the time and passed away, and now he knows his dad would have loved this game and was bomb. So I was like, absolutely,
Yeah.
man, let's get that in there. I'm not going to spoil
Yeah.
what the Easter egg will be, but I already have a plan of I think how we'll do it.
No, but if you just join in now, we did talk about we may have a live stream or another session on Discord or on something like that where we literally work with whoever shows up to establish some Easter eggs to hide. So if you ever were into that type of thing, you could just reach out to us if you want and suggest it, or you could join whenever we do something public and help us figure it out. That jump is just awesome.
Yeah, the Discord has like a stage thing where like I could like live stream kind of deal, and then people can raise their hand and I can pull you in and you can talk. So I think what we'll do sometime is like when we need help with planning Easter eggs and other things,
Yeah.
we'll do one of those things. We'll schedule it ahead of time so people know when it is, and then a bunch of people could pop in. You guys could give us your ideas, and we'll take our favorite ones and make them happen.
Sometimes if you hang out on our Discord, you'll just we're just in voice chat in the evenings usually, hanging out, playing. Joe's there more than I am, but it's pretty common that we're just hanging out over there. So keep an eye out. Yeah, ZZ says please add session markers. We've got them, Joe. If you want a demo when you get a chance.
Yeah, session markers. I'll drop one right. Boom, right there. Marker placed. So down on
So
the
you just
D-pad places, up
Yeah.
on the D-pad will respawn you there. So yeah, we got session markers. And I've got ideas for how to fix session markers and make them even cooler. I've got all kinds of ideas for that. We just have the basic functionality now. Whoa, that's never happened to me before. There's a bug.
No, I've never seen. Oh,
Just got
you gonna
yeeted.
let- you survive- oh,
So
I thought you were
there,
gonna ride it out.
there's respawning at the track marker or at the marker. See, and then you can just hit B on the controller to go right back to the top and race. So anytime you're racing and you screw it up, you just hit B and boom, you're back going again. So it's instant restarts, easy to dial in your times. But you don't need to race too. Like people were earlier asking if you could free ride. If I hit B twice, it pulls me out of race mode, and now I can just go do whatever I want. You can stop at the beacons and start another race, or you could just bypass it and just go cruise around, do what you want. You can go find the secret trail that Zach put in here, and I just found it. So all kinds of stuff. Here's just like a sneak peek of kind of an Easter egg that we would have. It would probably be a better trail than this because Zach's not a level designer. He's a programmer, but I think it's fun that he threw this little Easter egg in here. And now you've got another kind of fun, very easy. This would be a really good one to show beginners because it's like there's not much to it. You're kind of just like riding your bike on a road. But yeah, we're going to have tons of kind of fun secret stuff like that. I want to try to get a good run on here. What time? Oh, we can go in 2.5 hours already.
Yep, we've been rolling.
So this is the prototype map. This map has four trails you can race on it now. This is the one that we set out to make in just about 6 weeks to prove if we could make a fun mountain bike game. And then we have started working on the new map, which I was playing earlier, and this map won't really be getting updates anymore. I mean, whenever we do physics changes and stuff, it'll obviously come to this map, but this map, the map itself won't be getting tons of updates unless Maggie wants to use it as like a test environment to test things she wants to do on the big map. But yeah, the plan now is to start working on the big map. It's a big open world map. It'll have, chair lifts you could take to the top. In the beginning, you'll only have one chairlift unlocked, and you'll have to play the game to level up and unlock more chairlifts and more parts of the mountain, more gear. There'll be races you can compete in. There will be challenges that are non-racing challenges. There'll be Easter eggs. It's gonna be a fun time. We'll have multiplayer, so you can hop in with your friends if you want. You could complete challenges together with your friends. All that stuff's in the works.
Yep. And Eli, yeah, we want to do proper bike tracks. We're not really that far in yet. We haven't started talking to any bike track, any actual organizers or anything like that. But we made Mad Skills Motocross, and we partnered with lots of people. We did, we ran the Red Bull Straight Rhythm tracks in our game year after year. We partnered with the Snowcross series in the U.S. and we did all their tracks as replicas. So we've done that before. We would like to do it in this game, but we're just not that far. But there will be modding too. So we think that once modding opens up, lots of things are going to exist in Cranked, basically. Joe was just playing. What were you playing, Joe? You were playing. Were you in BMX Streets the other day, playing that bike park that you'd ridden in Chicago?
Yeah.
That was cool. Just some local basic bike park that you'd ridden in real life. We found it and you were playing that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Panda, thanks for answering questions for us, man. Makes things a lot easier for us. Appreciate it.
Sloppy, but I think we'll be cooking here.
Yeah, seems fast. I want to make a point that Specs made here in a second, Joe, because I don't actually know the answer to it. So I'm going to let you kind of finish your race, but I've got a question for you. Specs. I'm going to find out about
Go ahead.
The markers with friends thing. He says one thing that's bothered him in MX bikes is no reset markers online with friends, so you cannot see a marker in front of a jump to train whips. And then says wants to know if the markers will work with friends.
Not only will the markers work with friends, but if Zach can pull it off, and knowing Zach, he will be able to. He'll find a way. Oh, that really slowed me down. There goes my run. Yeah. See, I think I agree with Tails on these physics changes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I've played tons of games with friends, especially racing games, where the markers and all this stuff drives me insane. And it's like, I just want to hang out with my friends and play with it. And if it's frustrating and I can't, it's no good. So ideally, I want a system where you set a marker, two systems. First, I want like a group marker. So you could set a marker for your whole group. And at any time, you could be like, hey, everyone, let's restart. Boom, you all restart. You could even have a party leader that could like force restart if you wanted. Maybe that's a party option. You could turn it on or off. So if you want to like run a train down a jump line, real easy to get everyone to boom, restart. You're all in the line, ready to go. Done. The other thing I want is if you're following your buddy and let's say you crash and now your buddy's way ahead of you, I just want you to be able to hit one button and it puts you right behind your buddy in motion. It's basically just mimicking your buddy's time. And then as soon as you take over, it's you taking over. But it basically can respawn you right behind your buddy at full speed. So you can catch right back up to him and start riding again if you crashed. So things like that I want for multiplayer mode, just to make it more fun, more enjoyable to play with your friends.
Yeah.
Hope that made sense. And if you have ideas for better ways to do things, let us know. And, if we agree, then we'll put it in the game. But a lot of these ideas we have for Cranked is because I've been playing these kind of games since I was a little kid. I'm 38 now. I've been playing these things since, I don't know, as long as I can remember. And, you learn things from every game you play, things you like, things you don't like. And you take all that knowledge and you kind of put it into something new and make it how you want it. And I think, that's kind of our goal for this is learn from the past, learn from our own mistakes from making games and come together and just make something we're really proud of and love and feels good. Man, I'm bad at front flips. I got to figure this front flip thing out.
Getting some serious love from Tyler Hedden. Thanks, brother. Joe, I have to say you are the GOAT of mobile motocross games and BMX games.
Oh, thank you. It's not all me, though. There's teams behind me that made all those games. So.
Well, one person we've got to throw some serious props out to in that way is Tobias Anderson. He's the majority owner at Turborilla. He's the guy who invented Mad Skills Motocross. I mean, that's the guy, first guy I ever talked to way back in the day at Turborilla. He made that physic. It's incredible what he did. I think it's a peerless racing physic in mobile games, personally, Mad Skills Motocross. All the way back, the first one, the second one, the third one, all of them, I think the physics are awesome. Joe was behind the Scrub in Mad Skills Motocross 3, which was he was a passionate advocate for that in the third version of Mad Skills Motocross, and it's such a good thing that he did it because it really made the game different and it made playing it different. So yeah, Joe's definitely got GOAT status, but let's give some props to Tobias Anderson too. That guy knows what's up, man.
Like the physics he made for Mad Skills Motocross was completely custom. Like that wasn't like some physics engine he just tweaked or whatever. Like he made all that. I think wasn't it for like a university project or something, and then it was so good that he's like, I got to make something with this.
No, he just had this idea. He was messing around with this triangle. Like he was just interested in physics. He wasn't a moto guy or anything. And he was messing around with a couple of triangles and figuring out cool ways to make them move and ways that he'd never done before. And a friend of his was like, it's kind of like a dirt bike. So then he took his experimenting over to a dirt bike instead. He's like, yeah, that makes more sense than triangles. And then next thing you know, he and Peter built Mad Skills Motocross PC game, and that's when I found them. But the first time I ever saw the first time I ever paid attention to the physics on Mad Skills Motocross PC, I was like, my God, who in the world made this?
Yep.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Come on.
Hey,
get
Panda,
up there.
Panda, thanks for trying to hold the fort down. We're getting another incoming wave of people who are seeing the placeholder graphics that we have and feel like we are a Descenders ripoff. So
Yeah.
definitely doesn't play that way. We've been making this game for 4 months. This is a prototype. These graphics are all placeholder. We're just getting started. So, if you play it, you'll see it's very different. And we would just say, give us a chance and hang in there with us. Maybe understand our philosophy a little bit, understand where we're coming from. We're very open, guys. We're very open about what we're doing. We talk about everything, whether it's on this stream, whether it's in our Discord. Joe's got a vision. We know what we're accomplish. It doesn't have anything to do with any other games. We're definitely not ripping anybody else off in any way. So I would just say, stick with us a little bit if you're interested in this kind of game and see where we go. I think you might find we actually have something interesting happening over here at Cranked.
Couple things I wanted to bring up. Beaming?
Definitely played MX
physics.
Bikes.
You guys should be playing Beaming. I don't know what Beaming is. BeamNG I've played. Are you playing MX Bikes? Yeah, we play MX Bikes. There was something else I was going to say something here. The whole point of the fake Descenders, it's another mountain biking game. I think a part of this is well, first of all, it's a Unity game and we're both in Unity. But there just hasn't been a lot of mountain bike games in general for the mountain bike community. We've had one, maybe two at a time. And now all of a sudden it's okay, we got Descenders, Riders Republic, Mavericks, Cranked. And there's options now and everyone's like, oh shit, there's options. I think they're all different. I've played all of them, significant amount. Probably Mavericks the least, just because it's the newest. But they all feel different. They all play different. I've been a game designer for 12, 13 years now. This is my job, is to play all these things, think about them, analyze them, come up with things. And I think they all suit different people, just like other genres of games have multiple varieties. Look how many first-person shooters we have. I know I keep bringing this up, but when a new first-person shooter comes out, it's not fake Call of Duty. It's just a different vibe, right? They all have different feel for different people. I hope all the mountain bike games that are coming out are extremely successful and they cater to certain audiences, and I think that's how it'll be. So, we're all doing our own thing, doing different things, and if you kind of vibe with what we're doing, then hang out. And if you don't, I hope you find a different mountain bike game that you love.
Yep.
We're not here trying to be, make every mountain bike game go out of business and we're going to be the best. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to make what we think is cool and what we want to play. And if other people love it, that's awesome.
ZZ's wondering about a ghost mode for time trial races. I know you have an opinion on that, Joe.
Oh, yeah. My opinion on ghost modes is I think we'll do ghost modes for practice. So if I want to, let's say Brian just put down a crazy line and I want to see it and ride against it, I can do a practice mode where I can race his ghost. But my times won't count in practice mode. And then if you want to race, the ghost will not be allowed. And the reason for that is because I think the excitement between splits is so much fun. And that's part of the addicting part of this game is you think you're on a good run and you're oh, I'm flying. I know I'm doing good. And then you hit that split. And let's say right now I'm plus 0.4. The next split, it's ooh, what's it going to be? Oh, I'm getting better. I'm plus, only 0.2 higher. And then you're let me see if I can catch it up, speed it up. And then that suspense and then hitting next, right there, boom. I know I did that better than my last run. So let's see now at the next split. And if you have a ghost, there's none of that suspense. You always know, are you in the lead or are you not in the lead? And I think that kind of kills the fun for me. Same with when I'm watching a downhill race broadcast. See, now I'm I'm getting slower. I'll probably want to restart soon. But But when you're watching the broadcast, it's the same way. The announcers are getting hyped. It's like, oh, he's up by 2/10. Oh my God. You know, and they're freaking out. And that's what we're trying to capture in this game is that feeling. And if you race a ghost, that feeling's completely gone.
Tyrone, thanks for the follow. What up, Daily? It's called Cranked. And it is an indie game, indeed. We are an indie game. We're self-funded. We don't have a publisher. We don't have anybody funding it. We are funding this ourselves. Very much indie. This person says, if you guys like physics, you guys should play beaming.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier, and I wasn't. I don't know what beaming is. Maybe I need to look it up.
I missed it.
Unless he was talking about Beam NG and then it like auto corrected. But Beam NG is like a physics based car game that's super fun.
Okay.
It's like a sandbox kind of where you get in there and do whatever you want and goof around, or you could play seriously. It's super cool.
What's up, Adam Morgan? Thanks for coming by.
When I had a sim rig, I played Beam NG more, but not so much anymore. Is there meant to be a cut on that one corner? You jump down on the inside. Yeah. Are you talking about this first corner? I don't know which corner you're talking about. This corner, the line I try to do is like, I try to land right here and jump and skip all these rocks and like land right here. And then I think the best line here is either to jump off of this rock or skip it and jump off of this rock, try to land in this flat spot. And then I typically like to jump over all these rocks, try to bunny hop these rocks.
Yeah, it's Beam NG.
Yeah, cut this corner, push forward on that. I like to launch this as far as I can, deep. Up here, most fast guys are cutting this corner like that. I think I went outside the marker a little bit. Maybe I didn't. And then there's different lines here. You can go inside the whole way, which isn't too bad. And then you kind of want to jump it. It's a little cheesy of a line, but you don't want to hit that rock. But you kind of want to jump that and land down into that berm. You know, now I'm stuck. Bugs. And then there's another cheesy line up there where you can kind of cut the track because we didn't put enough markers. We're living and we're learning. But yeah, a lot of, if you guys are playing and you want to know how to get faster, Tails has a lot of YouTube videos out. A lot of them are pinned in our Discord and certain channels. Or if you just go on Discord YouTube and just search like Cranked World Record or Cranked WR, you'll see a bunch of their videos, and you could see a bunch of world record lines and just try to like mimic their lines and what they're doing, and you'll get faster. Tails has a good video on Fika Break and kind of how to go fast there. That was with the older physics, so you know it should still work, but my times aren't nearly as fast as they were with the old build. Today's a new build with new physics changes that made things a little more realistic. Some people are into them, some people are not, so we're going to let them test over the weekend, and then next week we'll tweak things again based on your guys' feedback. You know, so if you did play the old build, please download the new one this weekend, give it a shot, and let us know what you think, because we're going to, you know, we obviously have our own opinions, and we're going to kind of do what the vision of the game is, but we really need, I like both versions. So at this point, it's kind of like whatever the community thinks is probably the direction we'll go. I think we might split the middle ground. I think the first version was maybe a little too forgiving and arcadey, and maybe this version's a little bit pushed the wrong way, unforgiving and maybe too realistic-ish. It was really fun before because you kind of were just like in God mode and could do crazy stuff. And kind of one of our philosophies for this game is that fun is our first priority. First priority isn't that this is a hyper-realistic simulation, it's that we need to have fun. So, you know, if we've made changes that made the game less fun, we'll probably revert those and go back to it just being fun. If you guys want me to do something else, free ride, do a different track, you want to see something, just let me know and I will do whatever you guys want me to do. But for now, I'm just trying out a variety of different trails.
Panda's still holding down the fort, doing some responses. Panda's one of our really most engaged players, hang out on Discord and these streams and stuff. So I really appreciate you answering a lot of these questions for us in the comments. You know what you're talking about, so it makes it a lot easier for us, for sure.
I think I'm going to start taking the inside line there.
Nick's asking about It's funny. This is something that it was a nut I tried to crack at Mad Skills for a long time, and you finally kind of did with the seasons over there. But he said, see if I can find where his original post was. Once a full game is released, do you think you would ever add a season, 10 stops, quarterly, or something it resets? Only get a few chances at runs so you don't have unlimited runs and all. He's got a couple more. Let me kind of finish what Nick's saying here. Higher stakes, make more intense, not going full send the whole time because you have to play it safer. Standings would come into play. Final race or live streaming that could be awesome on Twitch or something. We talked about this. You know, Joe, I come from racing, and Joe's been a lifelong fan of racing. So we always wanted to find ways in Mad Skills to implement real series-like play. We always knew that was such a key part of any kind of racing series, really, and it's just such a fun way to add competitiveness to it. Joe, what's your take on Nick's questions?
Yeah, basically everything you said is a yes. You know, it obviously depends on how successful Cranked is. But my dream, if this game is a success, is that we have, look, the very, like the big dream would be that we have UCI replica tracks and they coincide with the real UCI events. They're sanctioned, you know, with UCI. You guys have a week-long period, the week before the real-life race, to practice as much as you want. There's going to be leaderboards for the practice. This is all just a dream, right? This is my idea. And then the weekend, maybe like the day before the real race or something, the top people who qualified during all the practice times, top X amount, get invited to finals. And in finals, you get one run, and that's it. And we live stream it. People have like a window. We could say like, hey, look, for these 6 hours, you're allowed to like log in and you get your one attempt. And we just live stream those whole 6 hours. And as people come in, we kind of show the replays of them. Something along those lines. It would be my dream. I think that would be awesome. And we could have a whole season, points paying season. We could have prizes, real world prizes given out. You know, like maybe we partner with like GoPro and Santa Cruz, and you get like a new bike and a GoPro for at the end of the year or something cool like that. So that's the dream. If we can get there, I'd love it. So you guys got to help us get there. You know, one thing we were good at Turbarilla was like, you know, live service games and in making games that people love to play for 10 years plus. Like people are still playing Mad Skills Motocross 2, and that game's been out for over a decade now, I believe. So I'm hoping Crank's the same way, that we can, you know, it becomes successful enough that we can afford to keep developing it, making it better over time, and adding things like, you know, Crank World Cup and whatever else we want to do. That's the goal.
Hey, Vito, yes. We have talked to Cordial about the game. He did a really cool video. So if you go to Cordial's YouTube and search for Crank, you'll find his first impression of the prototype.
I mean, there's an example. Cordial's one of the best Descenders players there is, and when he played the game, he didn't come back to us saying, "Hey, this is Descenders ripoff." He liked it. He thought it was fun. Thought it was different. Made a video on it. He was part of the reason the game blew up and kind of went viral when we first announced, because he found it, and actually, maybe we found him. I think Antgrass knew him and reached out to him. But when he posted a video, you know, people kind of went crazy. We went from like 0 to 6,000 TikTok followers in like a week.
Now we hustle in 3-hour live streams, and we might pick up 100 followers, which is cool. That's something.
Hell yeah. We've gotten 91 new followers already this stream.
Hey, we work it, man. We're working hard.
And we've made 17 cents. Sure. Thank you guys for those 17 cents. Those will go back into development.
Hey, Derek from Jersey. I'm curious, where are you from in New Jersey? Like New York City, New Jersey, or like out in the country, New Jersey? Curious.
What else you guys want to know? Feel free to ask us, you know, ask us some ask us some good, thoughtful questions about the game, the direction. What do you guys want to know?
Yeah, we're 3 hours in. All right, we didn't have a script. We don't script anything. But, whatever we were planning to do is long exhausted at this point. So if anybody has any questions, fire them. We will answer.
As long as you guys are here hanging out and vibing, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, Vito, no doubt. Vito's talking about that downhill urban map I've been talking to you about from the very beginning.
Dude, yes.
100%. 100% want to do that.
I think our second map will be have a significant urban part in it.
It's just fun. It makes cool. Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool when you watch replays. It allows us to do tighter stuff. I mean, we're going to do plenty of tight stuff even in the woods, but yeah, 100%. We will definitely do urban.
Man, Fika Break's such a good track. Here's one of the best parts in the game right here, guys. Look at this. Shoot out of this berm. Am I going to make it? Nope. And you can land on the other side of the little roller. Oh, it feels so good. See,
Elliot wants to know if we use...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I was just going to say, Elliot wants to know if... I don't know the answer. You may or may not. We might need... Do you guys use the new input system or the old one in Unity? Do you know?
It's a good question. I know we're now on Unity 6, but before we were on... I keep looking over here. I need to look at you guys. Now, before it was, I forget, Unity 2021 or some old version of Unity that it was originally made in. So, I don't know. That would make me think it's the old one, but we need to ask Zach, and Zach's not here. But if you're in our Discord, ping Zach and ask him. He'll have the answer for you.
We're getting another spike on TikTok. People just keep coming, so we might as well just keep hanging out. Somebody asked us if... I'm starting to get a little cross-eyed up here. We're 3 hours into this thing, but brown wrinkle ring. Ugh.
What?
I don't know, man. Coming up in here with a name like Brown Wrinkle Ring, let me get my attention. So,
hey, Brown Wrinkle Ring. Just so you know, there is $100 Patreon tier where you can name a trail, and Brown Wrinkle Ring might be a good trail name. So, just throwing that one out there.
I've been thinking too. I told you before, Joe. I'm gonna just drop it here. I feel like in those highest tiers, we might want to drop a Crank T-shirt or a hat.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Just to make it to where if somebody's really going to go heavy and support us, they get something cool that they can wear. But he said, "Do you? What was it? What was Brown Wrinkle Ring? I can't say anything else other than talking about that crazy name. Any real gameplay to it, or just riding around and bullshitting?" I don't know if he's talking about the live stream or the game.
Right now, the game is basically in a prototype form. Like what you're seeing here was after about 3 months of work. We're only like 4 months into this whole thing. So right now, the gameplay is racing and grinding times for the leaderboards here. You can see the leaderboards. We just wiped the leaderboards, which is why you don't see many people on them. And most of them are now playing the new track and the new map, which is in a different part of the game. But the end game, yes, there'll be gameplay. There'll be a core loop. There'll be a meta game. There'll be like a career mode, and there'll be goals to achieve and things to do and all that kind of stuff. So that'll come later. Now we're this is pre-alpha. Now we're focused on physics, the game feel. That's kind of priority at the moment. The next priority after we've dialed in the physics and it's feeling good, then the next priority is going over new bike, new rider, new animations, animating the suspension, the proper body positions. Then you can add third-person camera, more camera settings. And I think at that point, then the game's going to be looking pretty good. And then we can start working on things like challenges and the core loop and progression and unlocking and customization and all those other things you guys are excited about. Those will come later. Do you all mountain bike in real life? Yes. I mountain bike. I've been riding, I don't know, close to between BMX and mountain biking. I don't know. I've been riding probably since I was 10. So what is that? 28 years. That's a big reason I want to make this game. And it's kind of my dream game to make, is because how much I love riding bikes, all bikes. Fish is on our team.
I'm a motorcycle guy, personally.
Yep, Brian's been riding, but motorcycles. Fish is on our team. He's been riding dirt bikes and mountain bikes his whole life. I know Antgrass rides a little bit. So yeah, we've got a bunch of riders on the team.
Kolech says you aren't the studio that made Mad Skills Motocross. True, we're not the studio that made Mad Skills Motocross. That's Turborilla. We are Session Syndicate. But 3 of the 4 owners of Session Syndicate are 3 of the original crew from Mad Skills Motocross. Joe has been the lead game designer on the Mad Skills games for a long time. He's been working as a game designer there for 12 years. I was the chief marketing officer at Turborilla making Mad Skills Motocross up until I stepped away from the company to do some other things and to work on this company maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And I was involved in originally bringing Mad Skills Motocross to mobile games in a significant way. So we're not the studio, but we are, three of us are still currently owners of that studio. We're just kind of an adjacent studio is the best way to put it. But yeah, different crew. We're not making free-to-play games here. Turborilla focuses on mobile free-to-play games. We've kind of had our fill with that personally, so we are moving on to making premium games PC, which is more in line with what Joe and I really want to do. So that's kind of why we talked about doing this with Turborilla, and this project started as a Turborilla project, but ultimately we worked with them and peeled it away, made a new company, and it's a cooperative arrangement with them, basically. Adjacent studio.
Maggie and Zach are part of Turborilla, though, and they're the ones working on Cranked.
They still are. Yeah,
so
they still are part of that company.
We've kind of got a contract deal where like we borrow them from Turborilla, and they're working for us. So yeah, same crew, different studio.
Yeah. Paul Kolich does slopestyle MTB, Joe.
Oh, nice, dude. That's
seeing some slopestyle up in this J.
That's scary.
Padraig. Yeah, the plan is to take it on the console. I'm glad that you think it looks smooth. We think it's very different than the other games, so that's why we're making it, to make something different. We're starting on PC, but we want to do this on console eventually. We've been making this game for 4 months now. It's still in the prototype phase. We're not even into the alpha phase of this game yet. But we have a vision. Joe has a vision. We know what we're doing. We've put a lot of time and energy into thinking about the way we want to do this. When I say we know what we're doing, I mean we know what we're trying to do. And we think we have the right team to make something fun and good and to do it efficiently. So that's what we're shooting for, but it's super early now. Super early.
Oh, see, the new, there's a good example of the new slowdown mechanic, where in the old build I would have been able to clear that, and the new build I landed hard and it slowed me down and I couldn't finish the run. So that's kind of the controversial thing we're talking about in Discord. Should we keep that? Should we not? Should we scale it back? I don't know. Got to figure it out. It's realistic that you land hard and boom, it slows you down. You can't clear the next jump, but is it fun? Not really. Can you trick? I can do some tricks.
It's all physics based. We don't have like canned animations for tricks in the game right now. We're trying to make this a physics based game. You can whip and you can flip, etc., by using the actual controls that you use to control your rider.
Yeah, I'll load up the other map. The map I'm loading up is a work in progress, like open mountain map, so it looks ugly. So ignore the looks of it. But this one has more jumps that I can trick, so I'll go show you some tricks. We don't have like animated tricks yet, like, you know, bar spins or anything like that. But, you know, you could take this hip and do a little 270 on it. You could scrub down this jump. Coming up here, there's another jump. I'll throw a flip on it for you.
We just changed the flip mechanic in this prototype that came out today. We sped it up, and if you crouch while you're flipping, the flip speeds up. The
manuals now are better. Like here, I can land in a manual. Before I couldn't do that. So like manuals and wheelies feel good. We're working on a shrelping mechanic soon, so you'll be able to like shrelp in the corners. And if you don't know what shrelping is, because I didn't know that term for a while, but it's kind of like when you hit a corner and you kind of kick out your back wheel and throw dirt everywhere, and it looks cool, but it destroys trails. That thing will be coming in the game at some point. Here's another big jump. I'll throw a flip at. Let's see if I can do a front flip.
Yeah. Old says, if he's being honest, this will be the best mountain bike game ever. I hope so. I mean, I hope you think that. One thing that we kind of, the way I look at this anyway, Joe, I don't want to talk for you, is that we don't get to be the ones who decide that. You guys do. It's out of our control if it's the best mountain bike game ever made, because you guys will be the ones who decide if it is or not. I mean, we can try to make what we think is. What we can do though is put in the effort. What we can do is give it everything we have. Make sure we don't compromise our principles, understand what our principles are, and give it hell. That's what we can do. And in the end, hopefully that's enough that makes, some people think it is the best mountain biking game ever. That's what we want to do. That's what we want people to feel. But you guys get to figure that out or not. We don't get to dictate that.
Also, the thing about tricks in this game, like all the tricks we have now, flips, spins, scrubs, whips, wheelies. I talked about this a little bit ago, but a lot of you guys are just popping in. The style of them and the way they look, it's all up to the rider. So if you guys are looking the way I'm riding, you're like, I didn't look that good. Maybe I'm not good enough. Just get someone else in there, because like, I can't wait till like Old Potato starts playing this more and gets the hang of it. And that dude's like so steezy in all the games he plays, and everything looks so beautiful. So,
He's really good too.
it's
He's
so
really
good.
good at streaming, man.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice. He's soothing. His editing's really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig him. He's always been one of my favorites for action sports games. Probably my favorite for action sports games. A lot of good ones out there. Lins. I love Lins for MX Bikes content. Also Reaper Doc.
Yeah.
Reaper Doc's super good. I love Reaper Doc's crazy videos where he's like, let's see how far I can jump on a whatever his hill climb bike or whatever. I forgot to put a marker down. I was going to put a marker down by the jump trail. All right, we're going to go off-roading and find the jump trail quickly. You guys ready for this?
Ben Tabor does a good job. Is that how you pronounce his last name? He does a really good job too. My son was just telling
Sam?
me. I mentioned to him. What's that?
Sam Tabor?
Yeah, Tim. Sorry, I'm
Sam.
kind of new to the guy.
You said Tim
Sam,
now.
right. Sam. I got three names that were all wrong. Sam, thank you. I never paid much attention to him before, but my son, when I mentioned it to my son that he had played the game a couple times and did a couple videos on it, he was all pumped. He said, like 10 years ago, he was like the ultimate streamer to him.
Yeah,
My
I
kid
enjoy
would've
watching
been
him
11,
too. He does
11
fun
years
stuff.
old, 10 years. He does a great job. I think he's positive, and I can see why. Especially, I can see why anybody likes him, but I can especially see why young people like him. He's a very positive guy. Keeps it clean,
Yep. It's fun to hit this section of the trail, like the way I just did by taking a shortcut, because you hit it way faster and it makes this single track just really feel fun. All right, put a marker down, Joe. There you go. Now we'll hit some jump trails and I'll try to just trick stuff and show you guys how fun the game is. The point of this game is to be playful and fun. Like, that's the goal. So we want to be able to, like, just scrub around, whip around. You find a little jump, huck a flip, and land on your head, but you don't have to go to the hospital because it's a video game. That's what games are all about. See, can I manual this whole... Oh, yeah. Nope, the front tire didn't touch, I don't think. I want to see if I can manual all the way to this jump.
Nice. That was cool. Looked like you did a little wheelie scrub there.
Yeah, I've been getting the hang of those. It's like they're actually pretty good in this game. Here we go. Do another manual to backflip. I don't think I got the speed. Oh. A lot of these assets you just see it's gray. Like, that's because Maggie hasn't come in here. Cedric just put stuff in there like Unity assets and basic Unity stuff. And then Maggie will come in later and decorate everything and make it look pretty, make the forest look dense. We're going to eventually have, the hope is that we eventually have got animals and all kinds of stuff. If you're on a race run, there'll be, a crowd and people and cowbells and chainsaws and all the stuff that you hear at a real race. So right now the environment's kind of boring. So that'll all change with time.
Yep. Leo, I have not watched Joe Bartolozzi. Do you know this streamer, Joe?
I do not.
I do not know him either, but I will...
Is that what he goes by on his channel? Or does he go by something different?
No, he goes by that on his channel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's got 3.2 million followers.
Oh, dang. How do I not know him? Well, Brian, what do you think? Should we call it a day?
I think we're good, man. I think so. We went 3 hours and 14 minutes today. It's fun. It's
pretty good. We only planned for 2, so we went above and beyond.
Yeah. Just a reminder, if you guys are here next week, we're gonna show the first Cranked collab in-game T-shirt that you can reserve, just for kind of knowing who we are early. It's gonna be from the bike shop in El Paso, Texas, called Rad Dog. Super cool bike shop, super cool logo. Joe's rocking a T-shirt right now, actually, the Rad Dog T-shirt. There's going to be an in-game version of that shirt. It's exclusive. If you get the code next week during the stream, you'll get one for free when we have customization in the game. You'll reserve it, and you'll never be able to get it again. If we do Rad Dog shirts later in the game, which we probably will, whatever we do next week will not be available to anybody ever if they don't claim it after the next live stream. I think you have 48 or maybe 72 hours. Maybe we'll do 72 hours, Joe, window that you can claim it. So everybody's got time to watch it later if they want to.
Cool.
So anyway, next week we'll drop that if you guys come back next week. I think we were planning on doing it at the same time next week, Joe.
Yeah, I think this time works well because I think it's a good split between America and Europe.
Yep.
So
our Euro friends hang out with us for the first half, and then more people show up later on here in the States, elsewhere. So cool. All right.
Thanks, guys. The game's called Cranked. You can get it on Patreon for $5. Join our Discord. Give us feedback. We want your feedback to make this game better. Thanks for all of you who've gotten involved and helped us make it as good as it is today. Got a long way to go, but we'll get there together. So enjoy the journey. It's going to be a fun process. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. If you ask us questions and we didn't answer them, if you ask them in Discord, we will. We miss them sometimes here because there's things flying. So just keep that in mind. Hit us in the Discord, and we're very responsive there.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Right on. Later.